Hey, you guys, what's going on?
Yep.
It's Friday night.
Yep, we're going to try to get you guys ready for the weekend.
We're getting ready to relax with some drinks.
Yeah, we bought a whole stash of stuff. Got a new brand of... We went to ABC Liquors, and I got a new brand of... what is that? Rum. 2 different flavors of that.
Yeah.
Show them that, Jenny. And then I
Yeah,
got
this
2...
is a new... We've never had this brand before.
Yeah.
We thought it looked kind of cool.
Yeah.
Got that. It's called Palms. Tropical Palms.
Yeah, I think that's what... Pineapple.
That's pineapple.
And the other one is just Caribbean rum. And then, yeah. And then I got 2 jars of Moonshine.
Yeah.
And they came recommended. One of them is apple pie, which we had that before. That shit's fucking good. Apple
Yeah, we
pie
got the little sample last time. That
It
was
comes
yummy.
in big jars like it should.
Yeah.
And yeah, it comes in mason jars. And the other one is it's pralines and cream, isn't it?
No, it's butter pecan.
Butter pecan. Okay. All right. That'll
I
work.
was like, we got to get that.
Yeah. It looked good.
They didn't have, like, it took me a while to find the Moonshine, and they don't have a lot because they just had, like, some just on the bottom. But, yeah, they had the apple pie, they had the butter pecan, and then they had...
3 different brands.
Yeah, they had, like, Moonshine cherries.
Yeah.
And Moonshine pickles.
They had whole pickles and whole cherries in it.
Yeah, like pickles, pears, and I was
And then they had a
like,
peach.
oh, that's right, they did have peach too.
Yeah, they had
with peaches,
peach
like
moonshine,
peaches in
and
it.
it had canned peaches floating in it.
Yeah.
It's probably fucking good though. It's probably really.
I'm not a
good.
huge peach fan, but yeah, it's probably good.
I'm sure it's good. It's probably like peach pie.
It's probably good. I was very excited about that butter pecan one. I was like, we
Yeah.
have to get that. I mean,
Yeah.
it was super expensive. What was it? It was like $19 for
A jar.
a jar.
Yeah.
Like $19.
$18, I think.
$18.99. That's
Yeah.
$19.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it's
that apple pie was so good though.
yeah. I don't know how. Yeah, I can make it. I would buy it still.
We have it still up.
Yeah, you can buy it still. You just can't sell the shit.
Well, yeah.
You can make it.
Yeah, if you're just making it for your
It's
own
not hard.
self.
It's not hard, but I can make it.
It's okay.
I just don't know what they're using for flavoring. But yeah, maybe I'll buy a moonshine still. Set that up in the kitchen and just make my own. Because it basically needs sugar, corn. I think is what it is.
You can make
There's
all
a couple
kinds of
different ways to do
flavors.
it. It's moonshine's not as hard as, I mean, you can make moonshine real hard if you want. You can make it basically Everclear, but they don't do that. It's not as hard as Everclear, but it's harder than vodka. Yeah, usually.
Everybody's wishing me happy birthday. Thank
Yeah.
you. This is going to be like a pre-birthday because my actual birthday is Monday. So we're going to... We were like doing research last night because I said I kind of want to go out like for lunch, but I want to go to a place we haven't gone yet. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because like I love Momiji, like the Japanese place, but I
Yeah.
was like, we always go there. I think you even went there for your birthday because
Yeah.
that's where you wanted to go. I was like, I want to go somewhere different. I want to try something else out.
We found a place.
Yeah, what the fuck is the name of that place?
Something or other.
Magnificent
Mexican-
Meat Boutique or
Meat boutique. And it's British.
It's a British pub.
It's a British pub.
So they have like steak and ale pie and fucking
Scotch eggs.
full English and
full English with the fucking beans and everything.
and the black pudding.
Yeah.
They're like all, and I'm not having that, but
They
you know
got
what I mean?
a lamb burger.
Yeah. Everything looked really
Shepherd's
good, and it
pie.
got like really good ratings.
Got really good
and it's
reviews.
only about 10 miles from here.
Yeah, it looks nice on the inside.
Yeah, and I was like,
Looks
ooh,
nice.
that looks like fun. Let's go do that.
They got the damn TARDIS in there.
They do, yeah.
So
Yeah, they have like all the
got-
British paraphernalia, like
it's
the
not,
red.
It's a call box. It's
Like the
yeah.
call box. So they
Yeah, it's
all
a
look
red
like
one.
that.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're all red.
Yeah,
all
but
of their phone
the
booths
TARDIS.
are red.
The TARDIS wasn't red. The TARDIS.
Well,
was,
I know the TARDIS was blue.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that all of
Yeah.
all of the phone booths
Yeah.
are red.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
it's not a police call box. It's a damn phone booth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
phone booth.
All right.
I mean, I'm sure you don't see them over there anymore.
They
Because,
don't have
like,
phone booths here anymore.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I
No.
saw a phone booth here.
No.
Like, because why the fuck would
Not
anybody
since
need
I was
that?
a kid.
You know, except for like emergency ones on the side of the highway, maybe.
They don't even have them for crackheads anymore.
Yeah. Everybody got to have a cell phone.
Even crackheads have cell phones.
That's
Yeah.
how you can
Yeah.
get cell phones for cheap nowadays. You just go to
Yeah.
Walmart and get like those burner phones.
Yeah, $20, I think.
John Smith said, to be a real English pub, you need a sense of inflated ego and quiet despair.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I mean, we probably got that covered, I would imagine. We'll see what it's like. I used to go to like a really, it wasn't a pub, it was actually like an English tea room.
Yeah.
In Daytona. It was really small, but they had like really, really nice food in there. And you could actually like buy British groceries in there before you could buy them at Publix. Because most Publixes, at least in this area of Florida, they have like a little section where you can buy British groceries. Like there's a few shelves of it.
We'll make a video when we get there.
Yeah, we should. It's just like, it looks really good because I was like, I kind of want like steak, but there's not really a steakhouse within like 25, 30 miles of here.
No, there's Longhorn.
Yeah, but that's 27 miles away.
Is
the
it?
closest one.
Is it that far?
Yeah, it's far.
Okay.
So I was just kind of like, well, I don't really want to go all that far. But then so we found this place and I was like, well, that sounds pretty good. So that's where we're going to go. And I'm going to get a damn Publix cake.
Yeah.
So I got to look and see because, man.
I'm just going to get fish and chips, I think.
Yeah, we're already like thinking about what we're gonna get. So we're gonna go actual Monday. But yeah, Monday's my actual birthday. So like I said, we're gonna have to do, because that's a haunting day. So we'll have to like have a haunting that has to. We'll do like a birthday haunting episode.
Yeah. How many people we got in there?
Or something like that.
All right, they starting to show up.
John Smith said you still get red phone booths in historical city centers and blue police boxes in Scotland. So that's what it is. I remember seeing some when I was there, but it's been a long time since
Let me
I've been
go
over
get
there.
Let me go get them.
Oh, he's gonna go get the moonshine. I took a picture of it earlier and like put it in the community tab, and I put it on Facebook as well, because, yeah, I didn't take a picture. Like we have a big jar of the apple pie moonshine that we got last time too, but I didn't really like. I just put that in the back because I was like, well, we already showed that on the last show. I was just excited about the butter pecan one, but it was like, I don't know, it was really hard to find the ABC. That's not. I mean, it's not that close. It's probably, 7 or 8 miles from here, but it's really nice. I was impressed. We were actually gonna get some more of that pumpkin chai ale or whatever it was, because that shit was really good. But then we were like, man, that's like $14 just for like 4 of them, and maybe we should get something that we haven't had before, because we've already had those. Although I did like that pumpkin nitro that had like the cold brew coffee in it. I think I just drank the last one of those last night. I don't know how many were in the box. I think it was just 4.
There you go.
Yes, we actually. We're doing small glasses this time. We're not crazy.
I'm doing a small jar.
What?
I'm doing a small jar.
Well, that's our 13 o'clock jar.
That's a 13 o'clock jar. That's right. That's a great moonshine jar. I got that.
That's a good moonshine. I totally forgot I got that.
So this is it. This is the moonshine.
I mean, look at that. That looks luscious. Old Smoky.
Yeah, old Smoky. What's it say? Let me put my glasses on. I'm gonna read all this.
He's gonna
read all this. There's all kinds of shit. I paid good money for this. We gonna read it.
That's what I mean. That better be worth $19.
Okay, man, my glasses are fucked up. It says, "Old Smoky." What's it say? Moonshine.
Yeah.
Here, you could probably read it better than me. These are your glasses, and they don't fucking off the shelf.
Those aren't my glasses. Butter pecan moonshine.
Let me see.
It's dark in here, though.
Yeah, no, it's too dark.
I can't read shit because it's dark red text on black. We blended our moonshine with the delicious flavors of butter, cream, toasted pecans, and caramel.
All right.
Liquid heaven, it says. We'll be the judge of that.
All right.
Butter pecan wake up call. That's a little drink that they have like a recipe for.
It's cream colored.
That'd be 2 ounces of this stuff, 2 espresso shots, and 5 ounces of steamed milk, garnished with whipped cream and caramel sauce. Fuck yeah.
Oh, man.
And on the back it says, come on, live a little. I don't even want to know
colored.
How many calories this is.
Probably a lot.
But I'm just going to have... Oh my god, that smells delightful. Wow. Oh, it smells so good. You guys, it's too bad this show isn't Scratch and Sniff.
Oh, man.
Are we going to get in trouble?
Oh, yeah, we're going to get in trouble. Oh, man. It's like real strong Bailey's Irish cream, but it's fucking ice cream flavored, basically.
Oh, my God.
And with...
That's delicious.
Shit, it's got 1 million calories.
Oh, my God, it's so... Yeah, it's got... To be that good, I'm sure this right here is probably like 1,000 calories.
Kind of like...
It's so good, though.
It's kind of like Bailey's Irish cream.
It does, yeah, it does taste a bit like Bailey's.
but it's
got like kind of a nutty caramel, kind of like almost
flavor.
like peanut brittle on the back end.
Yeah.
Which I'm guessing that's like the caramel or whatever. Yeah, that. Oh my god, that's so good. It's a good thing that's $19 because otherwise I'd be going down there and buying that shit all the time, and I'll get fucking fat. That's really really good though.
It has the consistency of melted ice cream. It's kind of thick. It's like melted ice cream and moonshine, like you spiked it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Real good. Definitely a dessert flavor. I don't know.
It says right here, it's a dessert wine.
Is that what?
No, sorry, that was from Greece.
Oh, okay.
I just remembered that because they're drinking wine with Twinkies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you should know that by now. I just randomly remember like movie quotes, like
I had
with
no idea
something else. Yeah.
That was from the movie?
Yeah, from Greece.
I didn't remember.
When they were at the slumber party.
I didn't notice what they were talking about.
Yeah. Because they were getting all over Jan's case because she had Twinkies and they were like, she's like, Twinkies and wine, gross.
This would probably get you slammed. How many proof is that? Could you find out?
What does it say on it? Okay, I'm klutzy, so I don't want to drink. I don't want to drop it. Okay, it says, but holy shit, that's small. Okay, so I'm really like.
Oh, it doesn't taste that strong to me.
It's not that strong, I don't think. It says 17. 17.9? I think that's what it said.
So about 30 proof.
It's 30 proof or 35 proof. I can't really read it.
So it's
maybe it's 30 proof.
It's about like
35 proof.
It's about like Bailey's Irish cream.
Yeah, it's not super strong. It's not like, I feel like the apple pie one
I feel like that was stronger.
was really, really strong, even though that was also very delicious. But this one is just, but like, I'm glad that we just have like small glasses because, that's probably super fattening.
Yeah.
I mean, just when I saw that, I was like,
we'll just have just that. We'll save that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's one that we're going to have to like savor.
Yeah.
So you can just have like a little bit at a time.
I couldn't drink that all night.
It feels like a fucking holiday.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's kind of like a holiday because like, my birthday's on Monday and it's also now officially fall. Yeah. Which I'm very excited, even though it's still kind of hot here. Although we went out earlier, we had to go to Lowe's and we went to the liquor store, which are right across the street from each other. And it was actually it wasn't cool, but it wasn't punishing. So that was something. Like when we went outside, I was like, hey, it doesn't make me want to kill myself out here. And it was kind of cloudy, which was nice too. Still hot, but not that bad. Not that bad. Yeah, Danny Rowling said it looks like a White Russian. That looks like a tasty beverage. It is a tasty beverage.
Yeah. But like I said, I couldn't drink this all night.
Well, no, it'd be like I said. This is one that you really drink like a little bit of, like a holiday, because it's very, very sweet. But it's good though.
I would put it very similar to Bailey's Irish Cream, but it's just a different flavor. It's what'd you say it was?
Well, it's pecan and caramel.
Yeah, butter pecan.
So it's butter. Pecan.
Tastes like butter pecan ice cream.
It does, yeah.
That's been melted and spiked.
Yeah. But yeah, that's delicious. Delicious.
Shit was expensive.
We also, I know, I actually forgot. Like, I thought it was one of the ones that was on sale, but then, like, when we went back to see how much it was, I was like, oh my god, that shit's $19.
Yeah, and we drank half of that already.
Well, what are you gonna do? Oh, it's interesting when we were in there, because I was, like, looking around, because, I'm a graphic designer, so I like to look at all the bottle designs and stuff, because I love, like, liquor bottle designs. And I noticed that they sell the stuff from the St. Augustine distillery in there. Because remember I told you they have a big distillery. They make rum and gin and scotch and bourbon or whatever. And everything like right in St. Augustine. And I was going to do a tour of it, but I didn't have time. I toured like the outside, but I didn't go inside. And they actually sell it in there. And holy shit, that shit's expensive. I think the one, what was it the bourbon? That's like top shelf. So it was like $55
for a fifth, yeah.
And I was like, "Holy fucking shit! That better be some good. That better be some good stuff." Like all their shit was expensive.
Man, it's difficult. It's difficult to fucking compete with just the regular big American brands right now. I mean, Jim Beam's got some fantastic shit. They're just giving it away, and same with like Bacardi rum and
Yeah, they had Jim Beam Orange, which I don't think I've ever had before, and I think everything was on sale, so I think it was only like $13.99.
Jack Daniel's offers like about 30 different products, different kinds of Jack Daniels, fucking going from rot gut up to fucking $100 a bottle, nice shit, you know. And then just like their regular $20 a fifth or $10 a fifth, you know, whatever, they got like honey flavors and cinnamon type flavor whiskey. It's just, the flavors are fantastic.
I quite like the Jack Daniels. It's Jack Daniels honey, right?
Yeah.
I quite like that. Somebody gave me that for Christmas a few years ago, and I thought it was delicious. John Smith said, saw a shop selling Christmas stuff today, which is a thing. Yeah, we went to Lowe's today.
Yeah, I bought a weed eater.
To get, like a weed eater thing, because our other one broke.
Yeah.
And, all their Christmas trees are out. They have, like, their big Halloween, inflatables. But it's bullshit because the Halloween inflatables are all way up the fuck by the ceiling, because I didn't even see them because I'm a short motherfucker. But, like, when we were way over on the other side of the store, I looked over and said, oh, there's all the Halloween stuff, like, way up on the fucking top shelf that you need, like, the ladder to get to. But there was Christmas shit everywhere. They got, like, Christmas trees. They got, like, all the little wire snowmans and all that kind of shit. And I'm just like, are you guys, like, skipping Halloween, or what the fuck is the deal with that? Because Halloween is clearly better. But, yeah. I like Christmas, too. I'm not shitting on Christmas. Their Christmas trees are really expensive. And we were thinking, oh, shit, we probably need to get another Christmas tree because
our old Christmas tree is too small.
Our old Christmas tree is too tall for the ceiling, because where we put it in the old house had, like, a higher ceiling than where we put it in this house, and it doesn't fit.
Yeah, we don't have tall ceilings. Our tall ceilings are in a bedroom, so we're not going to put it in there.
Yeah, so, yeah, that would be weird. I mean, it wouldn't be weird, but I'm just saying it's not.
No, that'd be weird.
It's not usually what's done. Yeah. I don't think it would be weird if you had one in the living room and in the bedroom, like because you really liked Christmas and you're like, oh, I want to wake up and see a Christmas tree. That's not weird. But having one just in the bedroom and not in the living room, that is a little bit weird. Although, you do you. But yeah, I kind of feel like maybe, though, if we have to order another Christmas tree, I mean, we don't have to. I'm just saying.
Let's put it on the card.
That's true, but they're they're so expensive. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Even like the little dinky one was like fucking $200. No, it wasn't that much.
They weren't that expensive before. It's because of inflation. I think inflation and scarcity.
You could probably find a cheaper one online than you can at Lowe's, I would imagine.
Inflation and scarcity, man. The prices are going up.
And I mean, the ones that are pre-wired with lights are like fucking $300. I'm like, fuck
ridiculous.
Fuck that.
Go get a real fucking Christmas tree and sell them on the side of the road. They're expensive though too.
We could just go sneak out in the woods and cut one down.
Cut down a fucking pine tree.
If nobody's looking, you could probably get away with that out here. Nobody see you.
You gotta know where to go.
Although you maybe risk getting shot. Just get off my land. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't want a Christmas tree that bad. Honestly, I'll just make a paper one and hang it on the wall. If I'm gonna get that fucking. Zach says, I think I asked before, Jenny, but what's your favorite era for graphic art? I think you did ask me, but Art Nouveau. I'm really into Art Nouveau. My whole bathroom looks like that. Also, I really like Soviet era propaganda posters. I really like kind of the bold design shit that they had then. I really like that too. But probably Art Nouveau is my favorite. I don't know, like I like a lot of different stuff. I like really kind of real Baroque, kind of like Victorian type of shit too. But probably Art Nouveau is my favorite. Kaylin said, what's a movie that you and Tom watch every Christmas? Christmas Chronicles. Yeah. With Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
I watch all of the Christmas MST3K episodes pretty much every year, that would be Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. That was the Joel era one. Then you got Santa Claus, like the Mexican one with the devil in it. That's the Mike era one. And then they did, like, on the newer show that they did on Netflix with Jonah Ray, they did The Christmas That Almost Wasn't. So I usually watch those. And honestly, like, even on Tubi and stuff like that, they have a whole bunch of Riff Tracks live, like, Christmas movies and Christmas shorts, like Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny and all the kind of classic bad Christmas movies. And they have one that's like 2 hours that's all like Christmas shorts, and that's pretty fun too. That has like, what's that one about the fucking sad little Christmas tree? That's like, it's live action. It's a short. What the fuck? All I remember from it is like the Christmas tree keeps. It's from the point of view of the Christmas tree. Like he can talk. Well, he can't talk, but it's like a voiceover, and he keeps saying that he's small and of no account, and I'm just kind of like, well, all right. It's super weird. It's really weird. I don't know. But yeah, some of this. So that's what we watch. But I don't know. I can't think of anything else. For sure, we watch all the MST episodes, and for sure, we watch Christmas Chronicles. Sometimes we watch Christmas Chronicles too, but I don't like that one as much. But we always watch the first one. And usually I try to watch Original Grinch, like with Boris Karloff, and Original Peanuts too, but I don't always get around to that one. And I like the Rankin Bass Rudolph also. So sometimes I try to watch that. John Smith said, I'd get a Christmas tree made of tinsel as the baby Jesus intended. I'm not sure if it's tacky or not, but I kind of like the white ones. You know what I mean? Because I figure if you're going to have a Christmas tree, like the green ones are nice. I'm not saying that. But honestly, I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of tacky like that. So I'm just kind of like, well, I'm going to get a fake Christmas tree. I want the fucker to look like really fake. I want one that's like white or like hot pink or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Actually, kind of, you know, it'd be cool if you had like a hot pink Christmas tree with all black ornaments on it. I think that could look kind of rad. But yeah, like when I was growing up, yeah, that's the apple pie one.
Yeah, this is the apple pie one. This one's a lot stronger.
You know what, though? That's a different brand than the one we got before. That's Old Smoky, like that one. The one we had before was, what was it called? Midnight Moon or something. So yeah, that's right, because that one had like a much plainer, like a white, like a minimalist kind of label.
Hopefully it's as strong as the other one. Oh, man, it smells good.
I mean, like I said, how can that be bad? It can't be bad. It would be impossible for that to be bad. Well, that's what we said when we picked up, because I was like, well, shit, that butter pecan, that's the $19. But I was like, there's no way that that could be.
What proof is that?
There's no way that that can be bad. That's a really good question that you asked there.
Oh, it tastes stronger.
That also says 70 proof.
70
okay,
proof.
so it's twice as strong as that.
Here, you want to try some?
Yeah, 35% alcohol by volume.
It's good.
Ooh, it smells really good too.
Oh, yeah, it's good. Kind of like Dutch apple pie with the crumble and the brown sugar on top of it.
Man, that's good.
You can taste a little bit of graham in it, like crust or something.
Tammy says
it's got more heat to it.
Sugarlands is a good brand for moonshine. I don't think they had that there. They had that brand, which is what did I say? Old Smoky. Then they had the other brand, which I think is called Midnight Moon. They have kind of like a white minimalist kind of thing. And then they had one more, which was called Ghost something. I think
Midnight Moon was about that same strength.
Yeah,
well, that's one about like that, I think. Huh?
That has a really nice flavor. Like it's really strong, like at first, but then like afterward, it tastes like you just had like a piece of really nice apple.
It's got
pie.
more cinnamon in it. Got more of a cinnamon flavor than the other one. It's drier. It tastes a little stronger.
Oh, but what was I saying? I was saying when I was growing up, for a long time, like we had a green Christmas tree, and then at my grandma's house, and then her green Christmas tree got worn out, and I was like, please, can we get a white one? Please, can we get a white one? I was like, I know it's tacky, but come on. And she was like, okay, we can get a white one. So we got a white one, and so every year I would put up the white one, and we would either do a white tree with all red ornaments and stuff on it, or a white tree with blue and green ornaments, which was my favorite. So we only had like blue and green lights, but it was white, and it was so pretty. I thought it was like really pretty. They're talking about Muppet Christmas Carol. Ooh, that's good too. And you know what? I think I watched Muppet Christmas Carol last year, now that I think about it. I don't watch it every year, but I think I watched it last year. And yes, it is awesome. Zach says, here's a Christmas joke for you. I got a chocolate lab for Christmas. Problem is it melted by mid-morning. Zach said, I just found a tree just like that. I sent it to Tom's Facebook.
The what? Tree?
A tree. Like a Christmas tree. We're talking about Christmas.
Okay.
Let's see. John Smith said, I only noticed recently one of the shops in the background of Muppet Christmas Carol is Michael Caine's birth name, Micklewhite's. That's right. Yeah, what was his first name? Maurice, right? Maurice or Morris Micklewhite? That was his name.
What are you talking about?
Michael Caine.
His first name is Morris?
Yeah, his real name was,
Okay.
I think it was Maurice Micklewhite, right?
Okay. I don't know. I would never remember that.
I'm pretty sure. That's a weird fucking name.
Did you want to go through the presents?
Yeah, well,
Sophie sent her some 3 boxes with a bunch of birthday gifts.
I can't believe
Yeah, she sent her a bunch of stuff.
that she sent me like 2 boxes. I actually consolidated them
She's
into
taking
2
care
boxes.
of her sister wife.
Is that what?
I don't know.
Really?
No.
Where did that come
I don't
from?
know. It just sounded cool.
It just sounded cool.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Oh, Camp Guy said those pre-wired trees will eventually have lights burn out. See, that's what I always thought of. It's like, yeah, it seems cool like for a year or two until the lights go out, and then you're like, well, I got to buy new ones to put on there anyway. So, I get it. So here's the thing. This is going to be kind of difficult because there's like a bunch of stuff in here. So let me show like some of the big stuff.
Yeah, just show the big stuff.
And she sent me all of these, but I was like, Jesus Christ, girl. I don't think she bought me all this stuff because I was like, oh my God.
I think some of it she did.
Some of it. Oh, thank you, Victor. Thank you.
There's a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, thank you. Like I said, it's early. I'm not trying to get like special treatment because
yes, she is.
Okay. Yeah, okay. No, I'm just saying my actual birthday is Monday, just full disclosure. But but that'll be a haunting show. So this is the Sidetracks, the birthday Sidetracks. Look, she sent me the creep show like thing from the movie, which like I said, I was
animated version of it?
Yeah, I was in FYE and they had this and I wanted it and I was just like, well, I really want it, but I couldn't like afford it. I was like, that's kind of too expensive. So I think it's like $30 or something like that. But I really, really wanted it. But yeah, so that's really awesome that I got that. Nice. And then you might have to like hold some stuff or put some stuff in the holding area over there. And then she sent me this book. She's like, oh, I don't know if you have this. And I'm like, I do not. And I didn't even know it existed because I do have a lot of books about goth, but I don't have this one. Art of Gothic. So that's really cool. Yeah. Like it's all see, it's all kind of like posters.
Yeah.
Like it's all look at the little cyber business going on there. I remember that look.
Yeah. Still around here, so
it is still around every now and then you see it. That looks like some alien sex fiend kind of shit going on there. That's pretty cool. Psychedelic proto-goth. So yeah, this is super cool. There's
Susie.
There's good old Susie.
Yeah.
With a dark Japanese thing. Yeah, this book is like really, really cool. Yeah. And then there's this. There's a lot of stuff. So you know what I mean. This is like an unboxing show. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And then look, there's just kind of like an anatomical kind of thing with a skeleton there with all the notes, which I love this. I love this kind of stuff. That's like super, super cool. Okay, we got to figure out a place to put this where we can see it on the show. Yeah. Because I just got this today because she sent 3 boxes and I got 2 of them yesterday and then like this one just showed up today. Look at this. Dracula's Bed and Breakfast and it's a light up.
It lights up.
Sign.
Yeah.
I was like, we got to put that back there someplace.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
got power right there. We just hang it down.
I can I can put it someplace. Like you can either hang it with that, or
we'll take some strings or something and tie it together and hang it to something.
But yeah, that's really cool.
You really won't see that anyway because of the black walls.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. That's why I kind of like did that kind of situation.
Hold on, plug that in. Let me see what that looks like.
Yeah, let's see what it looks like lit up. So this is actually good because I'm drinking this kind of slow. You've already moved on to apple pie. Ooh, look at that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of gold. You can't really see because it looks kind of white on the thing, but it's like yellow or gold.
It's not so bright that it won't white out, I don't think.
Yeah, that looks really nice. We're gonna have to put that back there somewhere because there's all kind of plugs and shit like that back there because we're definitely gonna have to hang that. I think I can see a place where I can put it actually. I might have to take that. I might move that little David J picture that, I know you can't even tell it's David J from here, but it is. Like, it's signed. And I might take that down and hang it in that space. But, hold on, let me drink. You can talk. Look at this. It's a tiny, tiny Elvira.
Yeah.
With, like, big... Thank you, Jeffy Art.
Money.
Thank you, Jeffy Art. Look at her little boobies. And like
her little,
and her big.
So it looks like you, Jen.
Well, they're little, like, cause she's little.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Let's see what else is in here. Some of the stuff I was like, I kept on the wraps because I didn't want Pookie like climbing around in here and like breaking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, she's like, oh, a box? I'm going to get in that shit. Mm-hmm. Here's, like, a little Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, that's neat.
Movie Maniacs little thing. Look at that frame. That's, like, so awesome.
Okay.
That is so awesome.
I'll put that up there.
Man, she got, like, all kind of... Where did she get all this stuff? And look. Look. That's the backdrop, and that's the figure. I'll have to put him over there with my headless horseman.
Yeah.
Whose head I actually lost. I lost his... Actually,
I think we found the head.
I think I lost both of his heads, because he had a Christopher Walken head, and he had a skull head. I found the heads that he cut off, like the severed heads. Yeah. I found that, but I don't.
We thought it was a cat turd. We're like, what the fuck is that? Does that look like a head?
I think I told that story.
Goes, no, that's a fucking head.
I know. Well, yeah, it fell on the floor because it fell out of the figure's hand.
Yeah.
And like I just came in and it was kind of dark in here. I'm like, oh my god, is that a fucking cat turd on my floor? What is that? And I was like scared to touch it. But then it turned out it was just like two little severed heads. I was like, oh, okay, it's the headless horseman's heads. I get it. So then there's that. Look at the little earrings. That's my favorite part. Like they're little devil heads, little smiley devil heads. Going here. Here, so put stuff over there, like so. I can. And then this, like I said, some of the stuff is still kind of like, ooh, this is cool too. Yeah, like.
What is that? A little Chinese figure? Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
He's like tin.
Yeah.
Metal. There's that. And let's see. Like I said, some of the stuff I haven't even like really looked at all that close yet because I've just never. And then this little guy. Ooh, his face almost kind of looks like a slee stack. Like he has like slee stack eyes. You see what I'm saying? He can sit on there. Look at his little bony butt. He can sit back there with the other little whatchamallums. And then, ooh, this is cool too. Okay, this is like, that's like a sticker. I think that's a sticker from the Lore podcast, which is awesome. And then this is like a coaster little thing tile situation with H.P. Lovecraft on it. That's a great quote, actually. Okay, put that over there. And then, let's see, what else? I can't believe, like, all the stuff that's in here. I was just like, I opened it and I was like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god.
Little flask.
Yeah, that's cool. Check that out. I love that kind of shit, too. I think it says Fright Night on it. Fright Night. Oh, and here, this made me laugh, too.
Pookie's looking in the box. What the fuck is this?
That's what I mean.
What's for me? Yeah.
This is called Mommy Knows Worst. Highlights from the golden age of bad parenting advice, which I'm totally going to get into this. I have one called, what the hell is it called? It's something about like the weird like mackerel diet plan or something like that. And it's all about like the weird fucking diet fads of the 1970s with all those like fucking weird cards on them and stuff. And it's fucking hilarious. And let's see. Then we got this. This is also very cool. Little wall hanging there. It says Spooky on it. With little skulls. And okay. These are like framed postcards. Like big framed postcards. Look at that. Look how cool all this shit is. How'd she get so much cool shit? And like, why did she like send? It's like, you know, if I had all this cool shit, I would keep it. Oh, and she also sent me like some good like fake nails and stuff. Gel Fantasy. Ooh, look at those. They're kind of like, oh, and some glue and whatnot. And then here's this little guy with his little arms and legs. Ooh, shit. Almost did it. I'm so fucking klutzy. I just can't like fucking
drink it.
I'm not. It's like, look, that's all I drank.
Okay.
Like I literally had. It's not. I'm just klutzy, even when I'm sober. There's that, like frightening with the pumpkin shape. So cool. All this stuff is just like so cool. I love it. Look at this. This is hilarious because this is a plastic Easter egg that she said was it her or her sister drew Nick Cave's face on it, as one does. And I was like, wow, that's actually a pretty good likeness there.
See?
Little Nick Cave egg.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, that's him, all right. That's him, all right. Okay, is there anything else in here? Yeah. Okay, this is all puffy. There's just more fingernails in there. And then, And then there's like a little sticker like that. And then this is, I think that's glue for the nails.
Okay, we're getting down to stickers and glue now.
That's the nail glue.
All right.
Now let me see, because I think, let me check and make sure, because I think there's other stuff in here too, and then that'll be like the end of it. Like I said, it's really exciting. It's like an unboxing show. It's an unboxing show. And then oh yeah, this is cool too. Okay, this was just in the box that came today. Look at this. Look at. Look at his little face.
What is that?
It's a little devil.
Oh, okay.
He's a little devil. Look at his little tail. Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
All right.
Okay, is that? Oh. Okay, let me make sure everything's out of here. No. Oh, I gotta save that for last because that's like super funny. And then we have like 2 of these little werewolfies, so they can fight. There's that, and then look at this, you guys. Look at Lil Jaws. Lil Jaws, and he has the little thing in his mouth that's gonna make him blow up. Smile, you son of a bitch. All right, is that it? Is that it? I think it's it. She put lists in here. Look how conscientious she is.
She got a whole list of everything.
She put lists like that. Yeah, well, to make sure that
make
like
sure
everything came okay and wasn't broken and stuff like that, and that like nothing fell out or got stolen.
She's got a manifest.
Yeah, it's a manifest. Okay, I think that's it. But yeah, oh my God, Sophie.
Yeah.
You are the coolest, always and forever. Like I love every single thing that's in there. That's like the coolest shit ever. Coolest shit ever. I haven't even okay.
Now Pookie's back there going, you guys done playing? Yeah, what about you, Pook? She's laying on her back fucking fighting stuff.
Murder Hornet said, whose birthday? Well, my birthday is Monday.
Yeah.
Meow.
Come here, Pook.
Tell them about Pookie's little... Oh, there's actually 2 things about Pookie, because there's... the dream, and then there's there's the other thing.
I fell asleep in the man cave in there with my little headphone on, and I woke up because I heard Bill, and in my room over there I have one of my motorcycles. It's a mini bike that I built. It's got green fucking lights and shit. Fucking
it's like a display piece.
It's like a display piece, It's like an award-winning fucking Honda CT70 trail bike that my dad had when I was a little kid, and he gave it to me, and I turned it into a cafe racer. It was badass. I could win a motor scooter or a mini bike competition with that. It just looks fucking badass. Anyway, Pookie likes to sleep underneath it, inside those blue lights, or green lights. She loves it.
Yeah, she likes the lights in here for some reason.
So, she wakes me up. I hear, bam, bam, like that, and I look back there, and she's underneath the motorcycle looking at me. Like, are you there? And I was, what's up? I'm here, and I said, come here. And then she fucking runs towards me and jumps up on top of the damn little mattress that I have in there, and gets up on top of my fucking chest and lays down and fucking looks all meek. I said, you had a bad dream, didn't you? And then she did. She had a bad dream.
Yeah. I've heard her, sometimes, she'll curl up in that chair back there, and she'll fall asleep, and I'll be, working, and I'll hear her all of a sudden go, "Barr,
yeah.
barr, 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 barr." And then, I turn around, and I'm like, oh, no, she's having a bad dream. And then she'll wake up and go, and I'm just like, you okay?
Yeah.
She's like, whoa.
She laid on my chest for probably about
having a little bad dream.
5 or 10 minutes until
she's like, Daddy.
Yeah, until she chilled out. And then she climbed down next to me and fell asleep.
Poor baby. She also alerted us to a bug today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was outside the door and I heard her going, "Row!" And I was like, what? And she was around the corner, and as I was going around the corner, I saw her looking up at the wall, but I couldn't see what she was looking at until I turned around, and she's fucking looking at it, and she yells at it, "Wow!" There's a dragonfly on there, a little bit. So I hit the dragonfly, and she's and then she catches it. She's got it on the ground. I got it. And you're going. I got it. And I fucking took it from her and shit. Fucking threw it outside, and then she stayed there looking for it.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand when you take it.
Yeah.
And let it outside. You know what I mean?
She's like, I gotta stay here in this area.
Yeah, it's here somewhere.
It's here someplace. I gotta go back and get
she's
it.
funny.
Because she used to do that sometimes. Because every now and then, when she used to go outside at our old house, she would sneak in a lizard from outside to play with. She'd bring in a little playmate. And so sometimes we would find like a little terrified lizard like behind the thing going, shit, help me. And so then we'd have, but like she would, because you knew that there was a lizard in the house because Pookie would be like trying to get underneath some shit and she'd be like,
yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, there's something under there. It's either the bug or a lizard.
She could see you take the lizard and put it outside, and then she'd go right back to where she last saw it and look for it again.
She's like looking all over. Where the fuck did that fucker
where'd
go?
he go?
Where is he?
She didn't understand hands. She doesn't understand the
Well,
hand.
she doesn't have. She just has little paws.
Yeah,
she can't really pick.
She's
things
fucking
up.
funny, man.
Well, she can pick up. She picks up her toys but in one little claw, so she can kind of go like that and scoop it.
Yeah.
But she can't really pick nothing up.
Okay, so I guess the introduction or the beginning part of the first part of the show is over.
Zach says, "What was the obsession with 1970s home cooking and suspending everything in Giallo?"
Oh, he's talking about aspect.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel like that's maybe what it was. I know it seems weird, and it seemed weird to me too until I looked into the history because Giallo was, gelatin prior to Giallo coming out and being like instant and everything. Anything that was a gelatin dish was like really, really labor intensive.
Yeah.
And pretty much only rich people ate it. Like I said, it was usually aspic. I feel like it was not. I feel like prior to aspic was usually not fruit flavors, right? It was usually like tomato or meat or something like that. It was made with like meat jelly. Like
I don't
meat
think you
fat.
actually. I'd have to ask my mom. I don't think you actually ate aspic. I think they made those aspic as more of a display, and it'd be in the middle of the damn thing. Shit floating in gelatin. Pieces of ham cut out to be like fish, and fucking dump asparagus to look like trees and shit. It's just
I saw one like that, but somebody made that kind of for a joke because it was in like an old cookbook, and they're like, "Oh my, I'm gonna do this," because it looked like it was like a Jello like aquarium essentially. So it was like this bluish Jello that had kind of all these vegetables and fruits in it that were cut out to look like fish and shit like that.
I don't think they actually ate it.
I mean, I would hope not.
I think it was just a display. I think it was edible, but I don't think people ate it.
Maybe it was like an ice sculpture. It was like the ice sculpture.
Yeah.
Like nobody's supposed to like eat that or anything.
Because I've seen modern reviews where people will go through all the problem of doing an aspect thing, then they eat it and they go like, "This is terrible. Why would you eat this?" And I don't think they ate it.
Why do you waste so much time with this? It's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. And honestly, it's just kind of like, I mean, Jello's fine. I don't think I don't remember if my grandma or my mom ever made anything like that. Like, because I know there were some things where you had a thing where you put the Jello like there was like a bundt cake pan.
Yeah.
And then you'd usually it was pineapple, I feel like.
Yeah.
That was usually, it's not terrible.
No.
Like, that's not that weird. But then they would start suspending like other things in there, like hot dogs and...
That was aspic and shit.
That's
and
what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think they were actually supposed to be eating that. Yeah, but the hot dogs thing, I don't get that.
No, I don't
But that generation would eat raw hot dogs. They're not really raw, but they're cooked. But
I did when I was a kid too, but I was stupid. I didn't know what I was doing.
yeah, they eat that. They'd eat bologna and shit. Hot dogs and bologna are like about the same.
I did too when I was a kid.
I fucking hate bologna.
I hate it too, but I ate it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it wasn't wasn't my favorite.
It's like something you give to a kid.
Yeah.
Bologna's a lot better if you fry it. But But anything's better if you cook it.
Camp Guy said I like strawberries in Jello. Yeah, see, something like that would be fine. But I kind of feel like the weird shit about it was that if you're going to do like an aspic type dish, which why would you? But you know, I don't know your life. But I feel like you have to either choose, let's go sweet or let's go savory. I don't think that it really works. It's like, hey, let's suspend like a bunch of savory stuff in like strawberry Jello. That's going to be a bad time.
See, y'all are fucking me up, and she's fucking me up with this stuff because it gets it out of order. What you find in those old recipe books, and then what your Meemaw would actually make for you when you were at your Meemaw's house, it was very different. Okay, my grandmother made those gelatin desserts. They were fucking good. They were really good. And it was like that bundt cake, the round cake with the whole bundt cake. Is that what you call it? Bundt cake.
Yeah, like a bundt cake. Pan.
Yeah,
that's kind
but
of.
But it would be like. It would be rigged up, where you would have the top half of when it was sitting there, it'd be orange, the top half, and then the second half would be red.
Yeah.
And in the orange half, she'd have a couple cans of those damn mandarin orange slices in there. Okay, and in the red part on the bottom, you'd have maraschino cherries and shit like that.
Yeah,
so
see, that would probably be
orange and cherry.
Be delicious. Right. Put a little bit of Cool Whip on that.
Yeah, exactly. And then you took a slice of it out and you put whipped cream on it. Mm-hmm. And then there was some other. Then there was some other stuff that she would make. She'd make a block of gelatin, right? A gelatin of some sort, some type. Take that and then kind of whip it and mix it with Cool Whip. You see that?
Yeah. So yeah, my grandma used to make that all the time.
That was really good.
That was actually really good.
And then it had fruit in it.
Yeah.
Fresh fruit, like diced up pieces of apple or oranges and stuff.
Usually strawberries. We made it with strawberries.
Yeah. And it was like a light, fluffy, kind of like an ambrosia type thing. It was really good. So the shit that they're always reviewing and making crazy shit like aspic and stuff, they're picking the worst stuff, I think.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah, that's not what...
Well, because, I don't think people were necessarily eating that, every day.
Yeah.
But I will say, because, particularly those Weight Watchers cards that came out in the 70s, because my mom had those, some of the shit on there, I'm not lying, like, some of the stuff on there was fine. It was normal food. But there were so many in there that were, like, really, really weird.
Yeah.
That people just got fucking tickled by the whole situation and said, we're going to make some of this. And they were awful. Yeah. Well, I said maybe that was what it was. That's how they got you to lose weight, because it's like, here, make all this food. And then, it's terrible and you don't want to eat it. So you'll lose weight.
Southern grandma made, or black grandma, been the same. Okay, it's the same. It's the same menu. All right, black grandma and Southern grandma are the same grandma. It's just, but because they'll call it soul food up north. But in the South, it's just Southern food. It's just, that's we all eat that. But the food that she would give you was, it was good. It was good, but it was the idea for, it was 60s era, a lot of the stuff that they're giving you, or prior to the 60s. It might have been even more traditional, like peach cobbler. Or peach cobbler with self-rising flour is probably 60s. But they made that before self-rising flour, probably. Things like fried okra, that predates 1960s. That's old shit. So same thing with like real cornbread, which is like eating fucking hardtack. It's fucking real coarse. No sugar in it at all. That shit predates everything. But what your Meemaw is making for you, she thinks is fucking space age, is shit like fucking bright colored gelatin. Mm-hmm. That's space age shit. It came out of a package. It didn't require any refrigeration. It was kind of instant, and they loved that shit, and they could make stuff with it. But when it came to the gelatin, I remember the bundt cake type stuff, but I remember that being really good, but it was layered. They do it layer by layer, let it solidify, and then fucking put the next fucking fruit in there, and then the next thing, and they do it so it was real colorful and bright. And you cut a slice of it out, and you put Cool Whip.
Yeah. We had that too.
Yeah. And then another thing is they would just take gelatin and kind of blend it with Cool Whip.
Yeah.
And it would be this nice, airy, creamy, kind of a fruity, generic dessert, Pieces of fruit in it.
It's kind of like mousse,
like
a little
mousse.
bit.
Yeah.
Like a fruity flavored mousse.
Yeah, and it had those artificial colors that were bright and space age and shit. Me and Mom would be impressed with that shit back in the 1960s. And she's bringing it to you in the 80s. You know?
Well, she's like,
you're
well,
a kid.
thank God that I don't have to spend all
Thanks
fucking
God.
day like cooking shit now.
Exactly.
I can just do this and it looks
Right.
nice, and it's
she
like,
can get
so
the-
I get it.
And she can get the egg
it.
beater and go boom like that and turn this thing into this wonderful 60s, you know, thing, and then I put on the tiki music and shit or whatever. You know what I mean? Fucking, you know.
I kind of remember like
Paul's dad, World War II veteran, and he'd love that shit. Drinking himself to death by the time you were born. That kind of shit. You know.
One
But
thing
it's just
that
generation was like that.
I remember, like, particularly in Giallo, I always feel like on 4th of July or Memorial Day or Labor Day or whatever, they would always do, like, the Giallo that was layered, like, red, white, blue.
Yeah.
Like, they had, I feel like everybody did that, but they did it, like,
the
in little...
bomb pop from
yeah, like, they did
the
it, like, in little
ice
cups.
cream truck, yeah.
It would just be, like, the red Giallo at the bottom, and then there'd be, like,
Yeah.
a layer of Cool Whip, and then there'd be, like, a layer of, like, blue flavor,
Yeah.
which I guess was raspberry, now that I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it. I don't really know.
Another
Was
one.
that supposed to be raspberry?
Another one, if your Southern or your black grandma would give you, was key lime pie, and that shit was fucking awesome. Just condensed milk, fucking lime juice or lemon juice, graham cracker crust, and fucking whipped cream on top of it.
Yeah, super easy.
Easy to make.
I liked
Comes
lemon
out
meringue better, but
beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful, yeah. And then you had the damn lemon bundt cake with the fucking lemon icing on the top of it. Easy to make, fantastic, Southern classic. Fucking just cobbler of all kinds, which is just, you can whip that up in no time out of nothing.
Well, that shit's like super easy.
Super easy, but
Like
it
you
was
just basically dump it in a casserole dish
yeah,
and stick it in
whole
the oven.
sticks of butter and shit. Fucking, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, they all died of diabetes and fucking cholesterol, but they didn't know any better.
And they probably like enjoyed.
They
the
went
food,
out
so-
happy.
Yeah, that's
them
what I
fat
mean.
little fucks.
John Smith said, when I was a kid, it was an eye opener if I had a friend over to encounter my mother's fucked up Albanian dishes. I don't like.
Albanian, okay. There is some good Slavic food, man. Borscht is fucking great. Up in Michigan, they eat pierogies, which are like a.
Oh my god, I love pierogies.
Pierogies are really good. They're like a little wonton with mashed potatoes or fucking onions in it, and mashed potatoes with cheese, and then you dip them in sour cream. Fucking super good.
Yeah, I love pierogies.
Um,
They sell those everywhere now, though.
Yeah,
it's
they
not,
sell them everywhere
It's not
now.
even really like a
but
thing.
there's a lot of good Slavic
Somebody made some
foods.
on MasterChef the other
Yeah.
day. As a matter of fact.
A lot of good Slavic foods out there. You just got to know what to make.
I mean, there's good food everywhere.
Yeah.
To be honest, you know. Camp Guy said you can still buy lime pies at Dollar General, Edwards Pie Company. Victor says key lime pie made me gay.
Yeah, key lime pie will make you queer as fuck. That's how good that shit is, man. I had to resist it. It's a battle.
Where
Every time I'd fucking eat that little key lime pie, I'd feel that gay gravitation and shit. But then I'd fucking snap out of that shit, man. My internal mass was too great. I was able to resist it.
it's eternal death.
Yeah, internal mass too great.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold on.
If y'all have never had key lime pie, go ahead and get me fucking 20 push-ups. Punish yourself. Key lime pie.
Like I said,
it's easy to make. It's in the cookbook we sell. Yeah,
I
it's in
like.
it.
Yeah, it's in
It's
there.
in the southern section. And
I like key lime pie, but I prefer lemon meringue. Gonna say.
lemon meringue's good, but fuck lemon meringue. It's harder to make.
Well, it is.
it's-
I've made it before. It is harder than key
Making
lime pie.
meringue is a bitch.
It is, yeah.
Key lime is something you can make just in under an hour in your fucking kitchen at home, no matter where you are in the world. If you're in England, you can get the shit to make key lime pie. All you need is condensed milk. That's the hardest thing to get. And graham crackers.
And
if
lime
you want
and lime juice.
lime juice, easy. It doesn't even have to be lime. It could be lemon juice, and then just add a little bit of green food
Yeah,
color
that-
to
that
it.
works
That works too. Doesn't have to be
It
lime.
tastes pretty much the same.
Same. No one will ever know. And then you can use your own whipped cream or make homemade whipped cream or Cool Whip. I don't like Cool Whip on it. I like real whipped cream on it.
Cool Whip has its own thing going
Cool
on.
Whip is
though.
Cool Whip. It's its
Yeah.
own animal. Cool Whip is good blended in with fucking Giallo.
It is, yeah.
Because I think they're about
If
the
you're
same.
gonna go whole hog with
Yeah.
like the
Right.
the pre-made, and like I said, I'm not shitting on that because you can use some of those ingredients and like doctor them up and like make some really good shit
Yeah.
with that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if you don't have a lot of money. Zach is talking about his grandma used making pineapple fluffy.
Pineapple Fluffy. I probably know that under another name. Which one is Pineapple Fluffy? Explain it to me.
That does sound familiar.
I probably have had it, but I don't know it under that name.
Yeah, because there's differences in regional names.
Right.
Because, you know, like ambrosia salad.
Right, yeah.
Is that the same thing as Waldorf salad?
No, but similar.
It's
a similar concept. And then another one that is just a damn Southern classic, and it's probably outside the South too, is fucking pineapple upside down cake.
Yeah.
I can fucking make a badass pineapple. Anybody can, really. That's an easy one. Pineapple upside down is fucking great. And it's made out of just bullshit you could get out of any store, the corner store. Back in the 1960s, you could get everything to make.
My favorite when I was growing up was gooey butter cake.
That's good too.
Which is also easy to make. You make it with boxed cake mixes.
Yeah.
Like a couple different boxed cake mixes, a whole bunch of butter, and like some other stuff in there. It's like really, really good. Camp Guy said my mother made a layered Jello with a layer of sour cream between 2 sheets of Jello. I
Never
think that's
heard
where
of
the
that.
strawberries came in. Yeah,
That might be all right though, because you got that cool, creamy, heavy
it's
layer.
probably
Depending on
good.
how thick that layer is, that
I
might
kind
be
of feel
good.
like maybe cream cheese would be better.
Yeah, well, what you could do is you could use sour cream and add sugar to that sour cream to sweeten it slightly, and blend it together and let it sit. That would probably be really good. If not, cream cheese and sugar, a little layer of that. Would
Yeah,
be
I
good.
feel like that would probably be better.
Yeah.
Like I'm not shitting on sour cream because sour cream is really good. But I mean, cream cheese is.
I'd have to
good.
have it and see what it is. There was shit that we used to do, even back in the 80s, that sounded fucking crazy, and it was crazy, but it was good. You made out of common ingredient. One of the things that they used to be everywhere were canned pears, and it would be pear halves. They were giving them away. So you take out a can of pear halves and put the pear half down and put a dollop of fucking mayonnaise in the center of it and grated cheese.
Usually, like American cheese, I feel like was usually.
It was supposed to be cheddar.
I know.
And
I always saw it with
Yeah.
American cheese.
And you just eat it with a spoon. And
Yeah, my mom used to. Like I said, when she was on Weight Watchers, she would eat them.
it sounds crazy. When I first saw it, I'm like, man, that's crazy. But then I ate some of it, and I was like, that's pretty good, though. There's something about the sweetness, with the creaminess, with that slight tart in the mayo, and then that pungent part of the fucking cheddar cheese and the saltiness of that cheese. It kind of went together. I remembered sprinkling a little bit of salt on it. It was good.
There's a reason that people often eat apple pie with a slice of cheddar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those two flavors actually do go really well together. It sounds
never had
weird.
it.
Sounds weird, but they actually
Yeah.
do go well together. So I can see where they're coming from with that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was a very popular Weight Watchers thing, where you it was either a pear half it was either cottage cheese or sometimes American cheese. And sometimes it was on a bed of lettuce.
Yeah.
You had that going on too.
Yeah, now that you said that, we always had it with mayo and mayo and cheddar cheese. But if it was cottage cheese and cheddar cheese, that'd probably be even better.
Yeah.
I would think that'd probably be even better. And it was grated cheddar cheese on top of it.
Yeah, so like I said,
Grated.
it sounds weird, but it's not that weird because people eat apple pie
It
with
was
cheddar
weird.
cheese
Yeah.
all the time. Like, that's a pretty common thing.
But mayo, you would think
Not
what
so
the
much
fuck
mayo.
Mayo, why the fuck mayo? But that was some 60s bullshit, and I'd see it as a kid in diners, and people would hand it out, and you'd be like, "Oh, that, yeah, okay," and then you'd take a bite of it and go, "Yeah, it's pretty good." There's just something about it.
I don't know, I'll pass.
They were making things up out of what they had.
Sure.
Some chef made that shit up. Probably came out and well, no, they probably got that shit from Reader's Digest. A lot of that.
I'm sure they
A
did.
lot of that fucking. There's this magazine they used to have in the United States before the internet. It was Reader's Digest. These stupid little fucking books. It's kind of almost like a TV guide, but it had all this literature in it and recipes. It didn't even have current events. But women would subscribe to it. It was mostly a women thing. But a lot of recipes came out of Reader's Digest.
I feel like
it wouldn't surprise me if fucking that was something out of Reader's Digest.
Reader's Digest, I feel like that wasn't really a recipe thing. Like, if you were going to get recipes, it was usually church cookbooks or something like Good Housekeeping or Red Book or something like that, like a regular.
I thought
like
Reader's Digest had recipes in it.
they might have, but I don't really remember because my grandmother had a bunch of those.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like Reader's Digest was more articles, like funny, like joke
You might
type
be right.
columns. There
I
might have
be
been.
associating it. Maybe the woman that was. I probably just remember the same women that had Reader's Digest were also had a bunch of recipes. So it might have been. Maybe I'm just.
I'm thinking
I was a little kid. That's what
Yeah, I'm
remember.
thinking like recipes back in the day probably came from like church cookbooks because there's a lot of those, and some people nowadays like that are into like retro kind of cooking like collect those because each church would put out their own, like they'd ask all the church ladies, hey,
Yeah.
give us all your recipes, and they'd put them, like compile them like for charity or whatever. So there's a lot of those like floating around still, but I kind of feel like even nowadays, because they still do have these magazines like Red Book and Good Housekeeping and stuff like that, those are all still around.
Good
like
Housekeeping is probably what I'm thinking.
yeah. So, and their whole thing is like, I feel like, I don't know, I don't read them, but it's like half of them just looking from the articles on the cover, like in the checkout line at the grocery store. It seems like half of the shit is look at these decadent desserts you can make, and the other half of it is like lose weight, you fat fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like mixed signals, is what I'm saying. They're giving you mixed signals.
Downstairs, I have a cookbook falling apart. It's been in the family forever. It's from the 1930s. Is it from the 30s? I think it's from the 30s.
I can't remember. I looked it up one time, but it was
Yeah, I got it down there.
because we had one
It's
too.
and I can barely hold it together. It's a Duncan Hines cookbook, and it has some of the best recipes. It's got the best chocolate eclair recipe you'll ever fucking. And I made them chocolate eclairs. Fucking made a video. Jenny had some of those things. Them motherfuckers will make you fat. Beautiful
They
chocolate
were
eclairs.
giant, and they were really, really good too.
How to make the custard. How to make the fucking chocolate on top. How to make the eclair. But that recipe book, what is so cool about that recipe book is it came out in a time when the United States had no supply chains and no knowledge of anything very exotic. Everything was made by hand. Okay? All of your ingredients were made by hand. And there are whole sections in there on how to make condiments, like how to make mayonnaise, how to make mustard, how to make ketchup, how to make relish, how to cook all different kinds of meats. It's all very basic. And then there's whole baking sections. How to make breads, different kinds of breads, the rules behind making breads, all the different kind of wheats that you need. Or not wheats, all the different kind of flours you need. The differences between them. And these were made for teenage girls. Really, the book was made for teenage girls.
Well, I was gonna say they probably
Yeah.
got them as wedding presents.
Yeah.
Like, here, cook some shit for your new husband.
No,
Figure
before,
it out.
Before.
Well, yeah, you'd have to know. Like,
Home ec.
Yeah.
Home ec, high school girls. And they knew their shit, man. They could make anything. And they could make the components. And that's really the key. If you really want to know. And then there's a bunch of substitution stuff. Like how to make sour cream. That's some fun, that's wild. Nowadays you have the internet. You could look that up. But before the internet, that book was fucking worth its weight in gold.
Well, yeah, it's like the Bible.
It was like the Bible, yeah. That's why it's still in. I still have it.
I mean, that kind of stuff is like really interesting to me
Yeah.
because, yeah, like I said, it's easy nowadays to just look up whatever the fuck you want. It's like, hey, look, I have these random ingredients in my house, and you can find like 40 bajillion
Yeah.
recipes, like how to make something out of that.
How do I make
but-
prepared mustard? It'd be like that. Well, that book will tell you, like how to start with fucking mustard roots or powdered mustard, and then how to make a prepared mustard out of that. That's pretty wild. How to make mayo. Now you're gonna learn that in culinary school anyway. Mayonnaise is not hard to make. I used to make it. One of the restaurants I used to work at. It's hard boiled egg whites and vinegar mostly. You just gotta whip it together right. I forgot what else is in it, but the average person doesn't know how to make mayo. If you got a fucking supply of eggs, you can make all the mayo you want. Unfortunately, this housing commission we're in now, they don't let you have any chickens.
Unless you keep them inside the house.
Yeah. State of Florida says you can have 6 hens. That's anywhere. You can have 6 hens. But I think, your local housing commission said, no, you can't have that shit around here. Things run around everywhere. But
Yeah, they like to wander.
yeah, you got to let them out to feed.
Yeah.
if you have 6 hens, you got a steady supply of eggs. You'll never really have to buy eggs. They're just constantly laying. I remember Dr. Matt, he must have had fucking a dozen hens, and there were more eggs than fucking 10 people could eat. They just fucking lay eggs like fucking crazy.
That's all they did was lay around.
Lay a fucking egg.
Lay eggs. Camp Guy said 2 things my old man used to make: 3-bean salad and cornbread with buttermilk on Sunday evenings. I wish I had his 3-bean salad recipe. Yeah, 3-bean salad's pretty good, gotta say. Then Zach said my grandma had an orangey brown lava lamp in her house, probably from the 70s, and I was so mesmerized by it as a kid. In my grandma's house, she had like a red one, and I actually inherited it later, like, so I got it for a while, and it was like one of the old, like, super heavy ones. I used to love that thing. I thought it was like, and it lasted like forever. I don't know what happened to it, but I think it broke eventually, but let's see. Somebody said, is anyone else having connection problems? I don't think so.
No, everything's going good here.
Zach says, as disgusting as they sound, there's some Norwegian dishes I'd like to try someday.
Here's the thing, man. Norwegian food never had any spices. It's mostly about fish preservation. And that's just nasty. Okay? All that Nordic food, you know what I mean? The best food that you're going to find in those places is foreign. They don't have spices. It's not... And the thing is that I think their diet's been pretty much fucking updated. They're not eating everything that they used to eat. There wasn't much there. It's too cold, you know?
Well, the thing about it is that, like I said, since the advent of the internet, like, I kind of feel like everybody's just eating whatever. I don't even know if there's still like local stuff, but I think it's like less pronounced than it used to be. John Smith said, I grew up in Newcastle. My mother's baklava may have been from Mars. It was so exotic. Baklava. You know what's weird? It's like I didn't actually used to like baklava, but I kind of like developed a taste for it after a while. Victor says coconut cream pie. That is also very good. I'm kind of like a little bit behind. It's a food show. It's always a food show. I mean, you know. Yeah, talking about Waldorf salad. Yeah, I think that when we were growing up, it's essentially the same thing. It's got like shredded coconut, mandarin oranges, mini marshmallows, that kind of stuff. We just called that usually Waldorf salad, but I've seen it called ambrosia. I've seen it called other things too. And some people, I think, because somebody was saying about pistachio being in it. Yeah, because I kind of feel like there's sometimes like the whipped cream shit is like green.
There's a bunch of stuff like that, those creamy desserts with all the stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a weird mixture of sweet and savory happening in it with crunchy stuff inside of a light, creamy... This stuff's good, isn't it?
It is very good. It's like way stronger than the other drink, though.
Yeah. That's a real drink there.
So I'm going to have to like sip it. Yeah, that last one was like...
That's like a candy drink. That's the real thing right there.
Yeah.
Man. It's delicious, too. It's like...
It's from Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
It's from Tennessee?
Yeah. Gatlinburg, Tennessee. That's what it says.
It's like...
On top of...
Oh, by the way, Dave Parker's in there. What's up?
Oh, is he really?
Up,
oh, okay. So I'm way behind because
we haven't been to Mannequins in a while. We need to fucking go back. And Mannequins looks like it's been blasting lately.
They're having like they got all kind of blow up sex dolls, and they're kind of having all kind of. Actually, I saw a video from there earlier today that had an almost naked dude dancing on the bar. So I was like, oh, that looked like a fun night.
Yeah.
I think
he was skinny though. He was just to have me up at.
He was just wearing a jock strap.
Yeah.
Well, you get drunk.
The girls were fucking.
Well, you get drunk enough, you'd totally fucking get up there.
Yeah, I just fucking pulled these pants off like that, with my boots on and shit, and fucking go up there and be like that, and like we're like that.
I can see you doing that. I've seen you get on stripper poles and stuff like that before.
Yeah.
Yukon Cornelius 81 said my grandmother had a recipe called Chinese pudding. It was just shepherd's pie with creamed corn in it.
How is that? Tell your grandma to go ahead on back home. Because that's shepherd's pie with corn.
With corn.
And I've seen people put corn in shepherd's. There's nothing Chinese.
There's nothing Chinese about that.
The Chinese don't even have corn.
I mean, That's really weird, and I kind of feel like they put corn, because I remember I said before that when I was in the UK, one of the weirdest things, and now that I think of it, it's not that weird, but it's like I was weirded out by it like in the 90s, that they had frozen pizzas that had like, you had like all the normal flavors like cheese and pepperoni and whatnot, but then they had one that had like corn niblets on it.
Yeah, corn does not belong on pizza. I know the Europeans going to get mad.
Don't they do, they do that in Japan too, right?
Yeah, the Japanese going to get mad. But the Japanese will put octopus ink on pizza. That doesn't belong there either. We're going to get the Italian mob together to try to stop this shit. It's a fucking dishonor against Italian technology. Pizza is not really Italian, okay? It's Italian-American. Because pizza back in Italy was more like focaccia. It's not really pizza. Pizza came from the early 1900s, and that's Italian Americans living the good life in Chicago and New York. They now have access to more ingredients and more money than what they had back in the old country. So they're going overboard with pizza. And that's the pizza you know of. You had the Chicago deep dish. You had fucking pizza pie. You had New York pizza. None of that existed back in Italy. Okay? This is the fucking... They have pimped it out to the max. And we have to fucking give credit where credit is due. Italian mafia really helped make pizza famous. Okay? Because the newspapers would focus on guys... gangsters saying that, yeah, they're hanging out in these strange places where they serve this weird Italian dish called pizza.
Yeah.
And that's how that shit
Which is hilarious. That was like a century ago,
Yeah.
which is hardly any time at all.
Yeah.
Like, pizza was like really, really exotic.
Yeah.
Which is super funny to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like a whole
Yeah,
thing.
but Big Al helped make pizza famous, and it was Chicago pizza. And then there were the Italian American pizza wars that go on to this day. Each little Italian-American clan's gonna fucking say their pizza's the best. Chicago pizza, New York pizza. People forget about Detroit pizza. It's fucking square.
It's all good.
And it's in a metal pan.
I'll eat any of it, not gonna lie.
But the pizza that went around the world and marched around the world and conquered it and ended up in other countries is not Italian pizza. It is an evolution of the American pizza. It was Italian, but it was an Italian-American. It was Italians in America doing that.
I do kind of feel like most people globally, at least from what I could determine, do kind of see pizza as an American food.
Yeah, an Italian-American
Which
thing.
technically, yes, it was immigrants that started it, but the way they, like you said, the way they pimped it out, I think that kind of made it a more...
Right.
They kind of went somewhere
Back
else.
in Italy, pizza was junk food. That was something you sold on the street. It was more like focaccia. There wasn't much on it.
Which is also good.
It was good too,
yeah.
but it was just something bullshit.
Not like you'd see like
Right.
nowadays.
You have these guys here in the United States now from in these Italian families, and they know about pizza, but they're going to do it right. Let's put more on it. Let's fucking put this shit on roids. Let's maximize this. Let's turn pizza from a street food to a fucking meal. All right, and that's what they did. And that's the pizza that conquered the world. Even in Brazil, which has a lot of Italian influence in Brazil and I lived there. Okay. Even the pizza they had there was aping Chicago pizza. That's what they were trying to emulate. And it was not even close. The temperatures weren't high enough, it wasn't crispy enough. The spicing was wrong, and it wasn't that good, and they didn't like it. Even the Brazilians didn't even like it. It was almost like it was steamed. The best pizzerias in Sao Paulo, Brazil, when I lived there, and some of them did appear right before I left, were copying American recipes, Italian-American recipes, and those were fucking kicking ass. If they were along the lines of New York or Chicago pizza, New York or Chicago deep dish, if they went along those lines, they succeeded. Anything outside that doesn't succeed. Because people have the same taste buds. You know? People know what's good.
Yeah, there are some variations, but most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gramthars says, Reader's Digest, puns and jokes, trait homilies, vapid inspirational stories. Yeah, I remember those. And word power quizzes. Good times. Yeah, see, I was kind of thinking, I do think they had recipes in there sometimes, but I don't think that was their main thing.
Okay.
Their main thing.
A lot of times I've seen one.
Yeah, because like I said, my grandma always had like a bunch, and sometimes I would read them because my grandpa read them and stuff as well. But I kind of feel like it was more, like just fucking like articles and little jokes and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yukon Cornelius said a lot of the strange recipes from the 50s and 60s came on the back of food packaging. I do kind of feel like some of the weirdest recipes was just kind of like a corporate office being like, hey, we have this product like Giallo pudding or whatever the fuck it was, like canned green beans, for example. And they're like, now we need to write a cookbook using this thing, using this product. And some of the stuff... so they tried to like fill out a book essentially. So they were like, they didn't even try any of the stuff out, I suspect. Although some stuff that you think sounds weird, because, okay, one thing that went around for a while, like back in the day, that I think a lot of people were grossed out by, but which is actually delicious, is putting ketchup in a chocolate cake mix. Like, a lot of people thought that was super gross and were like, what the fuck were you even thinking? Are you high? Like, when you came up with that. But if you actually do it, it's actually good. It doesn't taste anything like tomato or ketchup or anything like that.
Oscar's fucking with us about being the Food Network. Go ahead and fucking check off. This is the way the conversation went.
We didn't start out as talking about food. That's just kind of happened. Victor says homemade bread sounds good, but ain't nobody got time for that. I mean,
do it every now and then.
Well, yeah, and we've been talking about making some, but honestly, there's recipes out there that are like for no-knead breads and like all kind of stuff that's like way easier. Like I saw something on some channel the other day. I can't remember how she did it, but she basically made like kind of just like a loaf in her Dutch oven, and like I said, you didn't even have to knead it or anything, and it came out like, and it looked really good. So And she's like, yeah, I make these every now and then so I can make sandwiches out of the shit.
John Smith says, yep, in Naples, pizza is basically beggar's food. Yeah, right.
Let's see. Yeah, Tammy said my gram has a chocolate cake recipe that uses mayo. Very, very moist. Yeah, it's like, it sounds weird at first, but... It's not that weird. Well, honestly, it's not that weird using mayo and the stuff, because mayo is basically just oil and eggs, right? So it's just kind of like...
oil. Well, it's just the white of a hard-boiled egg, oil, and I think it has a little bit of vinegar in it. Been a long time since I made it.
Because you can make a pie crust with just mayo.
Mayo and flour.
And flour.
You mix it together, and there's enough there, and you can push it out, make a dough like that, and then bake it. It's great. Bake it, pre-bake it a little bit in your pan, pull it back out, put whatever you're putting in it, and then put it back in. But no, mayo is easy to make. I remember I was making it. This is a long time ago, back in the 90s. So after I got out of the Army, I was working in a really good kitchen for like about a year and a half in Pass Christian, Mississippi. Right there on the fucking water. Had a young chef who was just out of school with his partner. And we were kicking ass, all right? Making a lot of money. Well, he was. I wasn't making a lot of money. But we were fucking killing the fucking town. Every night was like a fucking rock concert. And I was fucking back of house and made all the salad dressings, made the mayo, made all the condiments, made all the fucking bread, and then made bread pudding on top of that. And that was basically what I was doing. I did that shit full time. And I remember making mayo, but I don't remember what the exact recipe was.
I made it.
I'd boil up all these eggs in the morning, bust them open, take all the yolks out. We used the yolks for something else, but I forgot what it was. And then for a certain fucking amount of weight of fucking egg whites, you had to put a certain amount of fucking... She's right, oil and vinegar. And I would turn that into... I'd have them in a big old metal bowl. I would turn that into fucking mayo using a whisk. I did it with a whisk. That's how badass I was back then. And it took it forever. You couldn't use a blender. It had to be done with a whisk, a metal whisk. And before you knew it, that shit was like, after about 15 minutes later of fucking whisking that shit, it would be mayo like you've never seen before. Not out of any jar or any squeeze bottle. Nothing you could buy. Mayo that was so good, you could take a ice cream scoop and get a fucking whole bunch of that mayo and throw it into a fucking bowl and then grab a fucking spoon and eat it all. That's how good it was. You couldn't do that with Miracle Whip or Hellman's. You'd get sick. You'd be like, ugh. But no, real mayo made by hand is so good that you're just like, oh yeah. And that was the original recipe. And with that was the foundation for other salad dressings I was making. And we also just had mayo too. But I had to make lots of that. Lots of it. I had to make like 5 gallons of mayo a week. Maybe more. To keep the restaurant running. Because that's all I did. I was like a saucier. Just like out of fucking Apocalypse Now. Fucking with the fucking chef. Saucier. Yeah. Right there near New Orleans. All I did was make sauces and condiments. And that was a good gig. It was a good gig. I got to touch up on all that. I haven't thought about it in a long time because you buy that shit. You know what I mean? You don't think about making it.
I mean, it's much easier.
It's much easier to buy it, right.
Because most of the
I could make ketchup. It was his recipe. But I was making fucking... I got his ketchup. The ketchup I was making was fucking... You could pour it in a coffee mug and drink it. That's how good it was.
I could do that anyway. I love ketchup.
The ketchup was fucking great. And then the ketchup was the basis. We used the ketchup too. But you make the ketchup and then like fucking half of it ended up being used in barbecue sauce. And then the barbecue sauce had a bunch of fucking Jack Daniels in it. And you had to cook that down. And sometimes I was cooking 10 gallons of fucking barbecue sauce down.
Well, you know, back in the day, Chili's, the chain restaurant, I think they had Jack Daniel's Grill.
Yeah.
So they had all that, and it was actually pretty good. I don't know if they're still doing it or not. That was a long time ago. I haven't been in Chili's in a long time. I think it was Chili's.
I got to get back on my saucier game.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Camp Guy said, I found a better than bouillon soup base. I've heard a lot of good things about that brand. I don't think we've ever used it. He's like, this was Italian herb flavored. And he says he has mushroom base, lobster base, sauteed onion base, beef and chicken stock base, vegetable broth base, garlic base. I really like that product line. Yeah, I do feel like a lot of people, like I said, a lot of cooking channels that I watch, like they usually will use that a lot. They seem to like it. John Smith said, this made me laugh. If you ever read the letters of H.P. Lovecraft, he writes a letter to an aunt about a walk on the wild side in which he goes to an Italian restaurant and tries this exotic dish called ravioli.
Oh, hell yeah.
I can't believe that he actually would go and do that. Like, he'd think that it was totally weird.
That Betty Crocker cookbook that I have downstairs, they have a foreign food section. And in that section is a subsection called Italian. And in that Italian section, they teach you how to make fucking marinara sauce. Italian tomato sauce.
Yeah.
And basically the only spice in that sauce outside of fucking salt, pepper, and garlic is oregano. And they have a whole fucking paragraph explaining to you what oregano is.
That's quaint. That's so cute. Well, it's just
what is oregano?
Well, because I mean, I was born, like I was a kid, like probably at the tail end of that.
Yeah.
But I do remember in the 70s, Italian food still being seen as like somewhat foreign. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think by the time I was a kid, it was more kind of like Chinese food and Mexican food was more seen like foreign. Like Italian food wasn't that weird, but still anything like Asian or anything like that, people were like, ooh, exotic. Like basically like the only Asian food that I had growing up was that like La Choy shit that was in that big can, you know? Now
the method, the culinary method that conquered the earth is the French method. All right. And there were competing French methods, but it has to do with mother sauces and cooking and everything. But the French style is basically the Western style. A lot of the British stuff actually is kind of French. because medieval England looked to France during all this time, especially during the Renaissance. So in white boy cooking, French. It's the French, really.
And that's what they teach you in, like,
right, yeah.
if you go to cooking school,
right.
That's usually what they teach you.
And that's everywhere. That's spread throughout the earth. But that's mostly has to do with their system, okay? Which there is a system on the organization of cooking inside a kitchen. But when it comes to fucking the flavors that conquered the earth, it's Mexican, Italian, and Indian. Those guys have got
I mean, those are kind of like
those are the ones.
I feel like
They got those guys are the masters of Indians are the masters of spice. They can take nothing and make it taste fucking great just on the back of spices.
And I'm saying, if you are going to be a vegetarian or a vegan, learn how to cook Indian food because, man, they make the best vegetarian and vegan food of anybody, I feel like.
The Mexicans can take...
You'll never miss meat.
The Mexicans can take two basic fucking things, which is corn and pork, all right? And on the back of corn and pork... Okay, now put porn on there, too.
Porn and cork.
Porn and pork. On the back of fucking pork and corn, the Mexicans will fucking feed the fuck out of you, all right? They can come up with all kinds of stuff. Fucking great cuisine, good instincts, a lot of fucking practical experience with Mexican recipes, all right? If you guys want to learn, if you're outside the Mexican realm, you want to go on YouTube and go Cooking con Claudia. Look for her, and she'll teach you how to cook fucking great Mexican food at home. All right, it's not hard to get a hold of those components. It's just a style. The Mexicans and the Indians. Oh, okay, look, I always like to say this shit. It's true, but don't take it the wrong way. The Mexicans and the Indians are the kings of poor people food, where you take nothing and turn it into a fucking...
But like I said, I think...
all food is about poor people food, really.
And honestly,
it's
to
all
me...
about that.
That, to me, seems like harder.
It's harder.
Because, like, if you have, like, the best... ingredients, then
you don't have to change nothing.
It's easy to make that taste good because it's the best ingredients. Right. If you have like nothing to work with and you can still make that taste
good,
exquisite, then that is like way harder, I think.
If you have fantastic ingredients, the challenge is to restrain yourself from doing something because you have a great ingredient. You got to resist the urge to change it.
Yeah, don't
just
fuck
let
it up too much.
fucking speak for itself.
Right.
You don't do it. The ingredient is good. That is a badass steak. Don't change anything.
Well, they
just
tell them that on MasterChef. They're like, look, that is a beautiful piece of meat. Why are you fucking up like that?
Don't change it. Right, yeah.
Quit overthinking it.
Right.
You quit complicating it. But like I said, if you have like... But that's another thing I kind of like about MasterChef. One of my favorite things that they did this past season was they basically said, you have to make a gourmet meal out of shit you can buy in a gas station. That's
the challenge.
Like I said, and that to me is way harder.
Right.
It's easy to make really, really good ingredients taste good because they already taste good. You don't have to do much to them. But taking like a bunch of like shit and making that taste good, that's a whole other level.
Yeah. In Mexico, what you're dealing with is corn. Corn is not expensive. They got lots of it. So you got to elevate corn to turn that into tortillas. Okay, which is that boy. There's a lot of different ways you can come at tortillas. You can make corn tortillas. You can make gorditas. You can because you're adding something to make it rise a little bit, which is kind of like Mexican cornbread. Then you can take flour, make flour tortillas, and that right there, that's your bread. That's your fucking base. Okay. And then you're dealing with pork, and you may not be dealing with the fucking choicest parts of pork. They might be second-rate or third-rate cuts of pork. But you got the fucking flavor profiles and the cooking techniques and everything to turn that into fucking top-notch, beautiful tasting food. So the Mexicans got that down to a fucking science, okay? And then there's a long history behind it. A lot of these fucking recipes like carnitas and shit like that go back to the fucking 1600s. Before the Spaniards arrived, okay? Before the pig arrived. And you'll find out that those recipes originally included the flesh from human sacrifices.
People tacos.
Yeah. And that was only for rich people. Okay? Guys at the top of the damn Mexican food chain. You know, they cut your heart out and everything on top of those temples. And that meat didn't go to waste. It ended up on people's tables. All right? So they were like the Vikings. Okay? The Mexicans were fucking macho about this shit. This is Viking shit going on here. You know what I mean? And the pig replaced human flesh. Okay? And that's why all this stuff with the cartels and everything, this is nothing new with the Mexicans. That's them returning to their fucking origins of basically being fucking Central American Vikings, you know. They're badasses. I just got to respect the culture, you know. But, no. Hell yes. Now that they got the pig and they're still dealing with maize and they can come up with all different kinds of sauce, tomatillos, and making great green salsas and fucking tequilas, and it's a macho food, very flavorful. It's not healthy in large quantities, but most real good food is.
Well, nothing is.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, it's about like Southern food. Cause shit, my dad was born with a fucking baby bottle in his mouth, fucking half filled with fucking pork drippings. Make that bitch healthy. You know what I mean? Fucking, that's just the way.
Put hair on your chest. You know.
Put some hair on your chest, beef him up some. You know.
That's the thing, man. Like I grew up with that too. The South, they were just kind of like, what? You're not having seconds or thirds? Are you sick?
Yeah, it's the same culture.
Are you sick? You have to like clean your plate once or twice, or they think there's something the matter with you.
Yeah,
which is why there's so many fat people down here, because they do that like from when you're kids.
So
they probably don't do it anymore, but they used to.
The Mexicans are the masters of pork and corn. The Indians are the masters of vegetables and spices. They can take a vegetarian dish or take a dish that has just a little bit of lamb in it and make you just like you have a fucking feast, you know.
To be honest, if all I could eat was Indian food, it's like I would probably not even miss meat. I mean, no. You know, I'm not saying that because I do really like some of the Indian dishes that have meat in them, like butter chicken,
they got
or
the
like
best vegetarian
lamb masala. But their vegetarian stuff, like all the stuff they do with paneer and stuff, like, because I fucking love paneer.
Yeah,
like all of that stuff is just fucking delicious. I could just eat that, and I'd probably like never even think about eating meat.
Now, Italian American foods, what they're doing is they're mastering the tomato and sausages. All right, they're real good with that. And but when you talk about Italian food back in Italy, it's a lot lighter. It's pastas with not much sauce on it. A lot of seafood. It's a lot more Mediterranean flavor, which it's good too.
I like that.
It's good too.
Like that kind of stuff.
Both ways are good. Just that Italian American food is pimped out. It's pimped out. They're going for the more is better philosophy. Yeah, tomatoes. Put a lot. Put more. You know, which that was the mentality of the time. It stands up, but there's two different versions of Italian. Italian back in Italy and Italian American. There are two different versions of it.
John Smith said there's a great podcast called Voluminous, which is an analysis of Lovecraft's letters. I'm going to have to write that down because that sounds like totally something I would be into listening to. So thank you for that. There's so many like good fucking podcasts. I wish I had more time to like. Yeah, Camp Guy said I like straight up vegetarian Indian food, no meat. Yeah, I mean honestly, like I said, their stuff with meat is good too because I really like shrimp masala and I really like lamb, all the lamb dishes that they do and chicken and stuff. But all the stuff they do with paneer is fantastic. Yeah, like I love all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Victor Garcia is saying that fucking it's tortillas and frijoles, which is beans. Refried beans, which beans are shelf stable. They fucking keep forever. Slow cook them right. You season them right. High protein food where you can keep you alive. If you're in poverty, fucking beans will just keep you fucking running.
Well, what I was gonna say is that
if you're rich, eating a lot of it, you'll get fat. But
But what I was gonna say is that pretty much because I'm kind of fascinated by, like I said, I'm interested in people's limitations and how they kind of get over the limitations. So a lot of the videos that I like about cooking that are like, you know, I fed myself for like $5 for like 1 week.
Yeah.
95% of the stuff that they is beans and rice is Mexican food.
Yeah.
Like, because you can get beans, rice, tortillas for like super cheap, and you can make like a whole bunch of different shit about that. If
I got
that.
I got 30 pounds of fucking maseca. I can make fucking tortillas all fucking day. And a tortilla will fill you up. You know what I mean? And put free. And then Victor says that fucking cooking con Claudia. He also fucking says that if you want to learn how to cook Mexican food, go see Claudia, cooking con Claudia. And he comments that how cute she is. She's cute. She's in her early 30s, cute Mexican girl, and it's all in English. So and she explains why they do certain things. So if you're a non-Mexican, you want to learn how to cook Mexican food, check out Claudia on YouTube, Cooking con Claudia. Very easy recipes. She shows you how to do it, and you can back it up and watch it over again. And how to start with base materials, like how to make salsa out of peppers. How to roast fucking peppers to make salsa. You know, she the very, very basics. And then she starts with there, and then she'll go into more and more advanced stuff. But she's a good teacher. Great show.
Lars Ulrich said, I love Tabasco habanero sauce. Also good with pasta and Italian food to spice it up.
Easy to make. Easy to make.
I can't really eat that because it gives me like really, really bad heartburn. So.
All that is that you take peppers and you cook them, slowly boil them in vinegar, add a little bit of salt, and blend it together. Just the ratios have to be right. Then you put a little funnel down into a bottle and you pour it all in there. Now, a true Louisiana hot sauce, you're going to strain it through a wire strainer. And it'll end up being just like Tabasco. And you can adjust the salt-vinegar ratio or the fucking spice. Like, I got a bunch of Carolina Reapers down there. Came out of my garden. I got to make something like that out of them before they go bad. It's going to be fucking Reaper sauce. That shit is fucking hot.
God damn, you could probably like set up a little thing like the booth we saw now earlier today, like set up on the side of the road selling the pot boiled peanuts.
Yeah,
you could go
Reaper sauce.
Yeah, you should go sell the Reaper sauce. You
and
can make a few bucks doing that.
Yeah. But you don't have to strain it. There are tutorials on how to make things like Tabasco. Tabasco is expensive now. I remember when a bottle of Tabasco was only like a couple dollars. Now it's fucking like $5 for a fucking bottle of Tabasco.
Well, everybody got in on it. That's why. That's the thing. It's like back in the old days when like nobody knew anything about that much about food, and it's like it was, this shit was all exotic and everything. But see, now everybody knows everything about everything. Like everybody's a foodie.
Y'all are buying up all the Tabasco. Last time I was in Mississippi and Louisiana area. They couldn't even afford Tabasco. They had to buy Crystal. Most places just are buying Crystal, which is Crystal and Red Hot. Crystal's better than Red Hot, but it's a similar kind of sauce.
I mean, I kind of feel like Crystal's pretty acceptable.
Crystal's about like Tabasco.
But like I said, I've never really been a fan of like really, really hot stuff. Like I can eat hot sauce to an extent, but usually it just like fucks my stomach up, and it's like seems like it's not worth it most of the time.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of like overwhelms, to me it just like overwhelms whatever, the flavor of whatever you put it on. Like I know some people like it, like I'm not saying a lot of people like it, but I'm not really into it. It's just, I don't know, it's too hot. I can't eat it. And it, like I said, it's not worth the pain that I'll be going through later. Because I get really bad heartburn. Let's see. Camp Guy said, easy to make the Olive Garden copycat pasta fagioli bean soup. Several recipes on YouTube. Yeah, pretty much anything that any restaurant sells, there's a dupe out there somewhere, and you can find it on the internet. So, there's a dupe for the Cheddar Bay biscuits. Actually, you can buy that mix at the store. I don't know if they're as good as the ones in the restaurant, though. But, I don't know. But yeah, there's a dupe for pretty much anything. I like those videos too. I was watching a video the other day where she was doing a dupe of like a bunch of the Starbucks drinks, like how you could make them for a lot cheaper. You know, but I haven't done any of it yet because I'm lazy. But you know, I'm just kind of like, I want all this stuff, but I'm just like, do I really have time to do that? Not really. Not really. I basically have, I don't know, I have like a big thing of like McDonald's coffee because I do like their coffee, so I bought like a big can of that. I have like a smaller can like to celebrate fall. I bought myself some pumpkin spice like Headless Horseman coffee. That's pretty good. And I also have some beans like from a local place that I still haven't used because I gotta grind them. So I haven't done that yet.
Okay, if y'all are tired of the food talk, you can just drop another question in the comment section. We can change subjects, but for the time being, it looks like we're on food.
I mean, as long as everybody's talking about food, nobody's whining.
Okay.
So.
I heard a couple of them in there complaining. What is this? A food show? Yeah, it's a food show. It's any kind of show.
Look, if it's just one comment, then I'm just gonna ignore that comment.
All right.
If everybody's bitching, then okay. But no one's bitching. No one's bitching. The thing about food is that the food is like the great uniter. Everybody got to eat, right?
Yeah.
Everybody got to eat, and everybody has like their own opinions about it.
Yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday, I cooked a damn whole chicken. We ate half of it. The other half, I pulled it. Pulled all the meat off of it. Chopped it up. Made chicken salad with tarragon. Dried cranberries.
Man, that stuff's so good.
And
I had
and pecans.
I had a chicken salad sandwich for lunch.
Eating chicken salad
when we got back
sandwiches,
from
man,
Lowe's.
with mayo. Yeah.
Well, see, you made it Wednesday night because remember at the end of the show,
right?
You were baking a chicken.
Yeah.
On Wednesday's show, and then
I got
like
a lot of it left.
I had like
after the show.
I had like a thigh and a leg,
Yeah.
and then you made like some potatoes and some broccoli and stuff like that, and that was really good. We had that after the show, and then I didn't even know. Last night we were in there watching that show on Hulu, like those History Channel shows, like the toys that made America or whatever, built America or whatever.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, hey, by the way, I made chicken salad out of the rest of that chicken that I baked. And I was like, you did what? What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I love chicken salad.
Yeah. Got a bunch of it down there.
I was like, make me a fucking sandwich then.
I got a shit ton. We can have some after the fucking show.
Oh, I probably will. Like I said, we had one on like that wheat. Is it wheat pita? Was that wheat?
No, just regular pita.
It was just regular?
Yeah.
It seemed like wheat.
Regular pita.
But that was good. But yeah.
I got wheat, but we're not into that yet.
Oh, okay. I see.
We're just trying to get up to,
I knew we had bought some wheat pita,
right.
but I
haven't even opened that yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that shit's delicious. That chicken salad. Yeah, with all the nuts and the cranberries.
Yeah, and after it sits there for about a day, and the cranberries kind of fucking sop up the fucking moisture from the mayo, man, that shit's good.
When we talk about food all the time, like when we're not on the show too.
Yeah.
Because we were coming back from Lowe's in the liquor store.
Yeah.
And Tom suddenly asks me, where'd you get those coconut shrimp from before?
Yeah.
And I said, maybe it was Red Lobster. I don't remember. But we were eating somewhere and I got coconut shrimp because I love coconut shrimp. And he was like, we bought some tilapia fillets. It's like, maybe I could do like a coconut tilapia. And I was
cut
just kind of like,
things into
bitch.
nuggets, like tilapia nuggets.
Oh my God. With
Sounds
coconut.
good, huh?
And then I said, you have to make
Orange
the orange marmalade sauce that goes with it. Because that kind of, coconut shrimp are good on their own.
Yeah.
But the orange marmalade sauce.
Take some orange marmalade and
just takes it over the top.
Take some
Man,
orange
I love
marmalade
coconut
and then
shrimp.
put some like white wine vinegar in it, and turn it into almost kind of like Chinese duck sauce.
Yummy.
And make a dipping sauce out of it. That's probably how that should go.
Oh my God, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
I'm a big seafood fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big seafood fan.
Rice pilaf.
What about rice pilaf?
It'd be a good side for that.
Eh.
You don't like rice pilaf?
I'm not it's okay.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan.
Look at Pookie Pants. What you doing? Yeah.
You want to be on the show, Bulk?
What time is it?
It's not late.
How long? How
quarter to
long
8. Not
how long
long.
has the show been going?
Not even 2 hours.
Not even 2 hours. Okay.
Hour and 45 minutes. Why, you getting bored?
Almost.
You're almost getting bored.
Getting hungry. Gonna get hungry, man.
Well, yeah, because we're talking about
Well,
food.
2 hours is a long show. 2 hours is a long show.
Not really for a Sidetracks, though.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like
We're just getting these people ready to go out.
our Wednesday night show ended up being 4 hours.
Oh man, that's just fucking ridiculous. 4 hours is ridiculous.
I have a good
Some
time.
people love it though. They're working.
I have a good time on this though. Because the Friday night show is a lot less, like I said, it's a lot less stressful for me because I don't have to like worry about staying on topic or.
This Moonshine slamming.
This is really
slamming,
good.
yeah.
Like I said, now this is a different brand. For some reason, when we bought it, I didn't realize.
Yeah, I didn't realize. It's still good though.
Because they did have big jars of like the brand that we bought.
Yeah.
The one that we got last time, he didn't even see it. Like I bought it on the way out. I was like at the checkout, and they have in the liquor store. If you go to the liquor store, they have like a big thing of like all the little 99-cent samples. And they had like a little bitty tiny jar. It was like apple pie moonshine. Oh fuck yeah. I was like, I gotta get that. So it was 99 cents. So I got that, and like we had it on the show. I'm like, oh my god, that's delicious. So when we went back to ABC today, we were looking for the moonshine, and they did have a big jar of it from that brand, which like I think they were called Midnight Moon, but this brand is different. That's like Old Smoky.
It's still good.
But it's still good. It tastes like pretty much the same.
It's close. I think this one's stronger in cinnamon. The other one was more appley, a little more tart.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think, you know what, the other one tasted a little bit stronger. Like, this one's pretty strong, not saying that. But I feel like the other one, at least on the front end, when you first sipped it, it was a lot more, like, overwhelming, like moonshiny. And then you'd get the apple pie. This one is it's very strong, but it's, like, it's mellower.
You just want it on the rocks, man.
A little bit.
Don't mix that with anything, just on the rocks. That's it. That's some redneck shit right there. That's some cowboy shit. Although the cowboys didn't know about moonshine, because moonshine kind of came out of Prohibition era.
Next time we'll get those moonshine cherries.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind the peach. I would want to try the peach.
Well, you can get the peach. I'll get the cherries.
Go.
You like peach. I like cherries.
The pickles are probably good.
And pickles are good, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I like pickles.
It's not pokey. It's a whole jar of pickles filled with moonshine.
I love
Probably
it.
good.
How can that be bad?
It'd be like a dirty martini.
Yeah, how could that be bad?
Yeah.
I don't see how that could be bad. Hugo said you guys should do a sidetrack show in the kitchen so Tom can cook and eat.
Yeah, that sounds easy to do, but that's hard to do because there's a lot of times involved. It's a lot better if it's edited. And then lighting for a kitchen is fucking difficult to do. We'd have to get boom lights and stuff.
That's the thing. I do kind of feel like a lot of the channels that I watch, well, they're kind of like lower rent, but yeah, they kind of have the whole setup where they have
right.
Like,
you got to have a setup for that.
Yeah, and they have like several like with the, they have the stuff where you can like go down into the pan and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of like thinking about it.
It looks easier than it actually is.
I don't have a lot of focus for that kind of like
for
that kind of shenanigans.
It'd be much easier for me to record me making something and then posting the video, not live.
We should probably do that one of these days. Like if you're gonna make something like impressive, I can record you doing it and then like I edit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, shit, I could even edit it and put it up on Patreon, just as a thank you, Victor, for the Boom Lights Fund.
What's up, Victor? Thanks, man.
Because a lot of cooking is just kind of like sitting around waiting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like boring kind of shit. So I kind of feel like it's better if it's edited a little bit because nobody wants to like just sit around watching somebody like chop up fucking peppers. Or
I gotta make carnitas tomorrow, Victor. I got a fucking pork butt already thawed. Gonna cook that shit in the Instapot. I use fucking Claudia's carnita Instapot recipe actually. It's good.
I have to say, I mean, all of your like carnitas, because we've made like many different iterations of it.
Yeah, I made a bunch of different versions. Carnitas.
I think that hers is the best one.
They're more subtle.
It's mild, but that's good because you can use it in a lot of different applications, which I like. It's not like super, super spicy. Like I said, I have a problem with that anyway, like, my digestive system.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's really, really good. It's just really savory. You get some spice in there, but it's not like overwhelming. And if you want to put it in other things that aren't necessarily... You could even put it like in a regular dish that wasn't necessarily like Mexican
Right.
coated. And it would still be good. So
Just pulled pork meat.
yeah, I kind of feel like it actually brings out the flavor of the meat. Which see, I like that. I don't, I know some people like really spicy stuff, but I kind of I like spices that just enhance the flavor of what's there, like the meat, and don't overwhelm it.
Yeah, a lot of the Mexican stuff that I've found over time, you find out less is more when it comes to spice. And that's kind of more authentic to what's happening in Mexico. It's not as much spice as people think. Now, you're talking about Cal-Mex or Tex-Mex, they've added a lot of spicing to it, which wasn't there in the original recipe. They're both good, but for general purpose, I like the Mexican versions better. They're a little more mild.
Well,
now, what'll be hot will be salsas that they put on them. They'll put, you know what I mean?
yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna make that much meat at once, it makes more sense to just make the spicing on the meat like mild,
so everybody can eat it.
And then one, everybody can eat it, and two, you can use it over several days and in multiple dishes. And if you want something that's like more spicy, like you said, you can do like a spicier salsa, or you can like put, cut up jalapenos or whatever the fuck you want to put on there to like match it to your spice level. Whereas like wimps like me that aren't really into like super spicy food can still eat it in other applications.
Victor, I got 10 of these peppers I pulled out of my garden, man. They're beyond hot. They're the hottest pepper in the world. They're hotter than anything in Mexico, man. Y'all would fucking love them. They're called Carolina Reapers. They're hotter than fucking ghost peppers. And they make great salsa. I'm gonna make a salsa out of them. But that shit's gonna...
Just don't touch your eyes after.
Yeah.
You'll be hating life.
I got enough of them where I can make something like a salsa, and then I can make something like a Tabasco, and we'll see. I have enough of them where I could probably make 3 different hot sauces and have huge jars of it, because you've got to break it down. It's so hot, you can't go pure with that. You got to dilute it. Much hotter than a habanero. Much hotter.
I mean, if you want me to like make some labels for the shit, you could do like a little boutique business with that.
I thought about it. Yeah, I thought about it. We'll see if there's a demand. I can make it.
Seriously,
But I got to find a good recipe.
I'll make you a label. I'll make you a website. I'll make all kind of shit. I can do all
Those
that.
plants are out there kicking ass, but I got to get recipes right first. I got to make the shit and get the recipes right and go, this and that and this and that. And I'd do it custom. For a listener, I'd do that shit custom and have a custom label on it and everything. Send that bitch in a box in a pretty ass fucking bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do like a whole thing for that. I would do a whole thing for that.
I got 3 or 4 different peppers out there. I got serranos out there. I got jalapenos fucking growing. And I got Carolina Reapers. Yeah. We'll see.
I mean, I told you before, like, you should totally start, like, a little...
And eggplant are kicking ass. I got more eggplant coming. We're just going to have to eat the
what can we, what can we make and sell that's eggplant-based?
They don't keep. You guys got to cook them. What I'm going to do with this next eggplant... remember when I did the eggplant
Can we make, like, baba ganoush and, like, jar it?
You can make yeah, but it doesn't keep. It doesn't keep.
Because we have so many eggplants, you guys.
I can...
Jesus Christ. I like eggplants.
Well, if I got 4 people ordering, then I wouldn't have enough. It's just more than what we can eat. So we got to get. But yeah, we haven't had baba ganoush in a while, have we? And I got all those onions. I should probably make some baba ganoush, but I don't have any tahini. I had to go down and buy some.
That's okay.
Okay. And then get some more pita. All right. I can do that.
Hugo said, if you like rum, I want to recommend you my 2 favorites. Appleton Jamaican rum and Havana Club 7-year Cuban rum.
We didn't see either one of those at ABC.
Well, I'm sure they probably had them.
Yeah.
It's not like I was, like, super looking. Like I said, when we were at the store, like, that ABC is so big that I kind of get overwhelmed. Like I said, I kind of get distracted by, because I'm a graphic designer, so I get all into like the label designs and the bottle designs. I was like, ooh, look, this vodka has a bottle that looks like an alien head.
Yeah.
And I'm super into that.
This is what we got right now. Palms. They had a bunch of flavors, like fucking 7
These
of
are
them.
like mid-tier, and it's just
Mid-tier.
like they were on sale.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, let's get those because we haven't had that brand.
Yeah.
So let's try
They
that
were
out.
only like fucking $11 a bottle.
They were on sale, yeah.
What was the, where's it made?
Please don't let me drop this. You know what? I don't know. Are y'all gonna tell me some shit?
Yeah, it's got to be on there somewhere.
You glasses? Help me. Man, that's Minnesota, right?
Minnesota. This shit's made in Minnesota. Oh, we're gonna throw that shit out. We're gonna throw that shit out. We got fucking Minnesota.
Tropical rum.
Made in Minnesota.
Made in Minnesota.
And they're selling that shit to Florida. My heart's broken.
It might be good.
Might be good.
It might be good though.
It might be good.
Honestly, I did want to like get the St. Augustine stuff, but it was so like cost prohibitive. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. But like when I was looking around,
$50 fucking fifth is fucking expensive.
that's what I'm saying. Like when I was going around going,
That's twice normal
because like I
price.
said, I told you guys we did a whole show about like the fucking shit. I did like a week. I was in St. Augustine. And I was like, oh, they have the distillery, and I was like, oh, I'll do a tour one of these days. I should have bought some booze while I was there, but I didn't. And so they have it at the store, but $55 for a fifth of bourbon. They make gin. They make all different stuff too. I think they make vodka also.
Yeah.
But I remember the bourbon was $54.99, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that I don't know. Is it worth it? I don't know.
Now we're fucking on a subject that I want to fucking discuss real quick.
Okay, that's all right.
You know how you have these people who are wine tasters? They show up and they taste these wines and go, oh, this is a fantastic book.
Sure.
All that shit's been debunked. They've been done fucking taste tests with those dudes, okay? And they basically select wines that taste good. It doesn't matter how that wine was made. They can't tell the difference, okay? They're looking for certain tastes. In the olden days, the wine making and booze making process wasn't very sanitary. So a lot of times you could buy a bottle of wine from a fucking mid-tier or kind of an inferior maker, and some of that shit tasted bad because it kind of became like vinegar. All right. Or it was just shitty tasting. And that was considered to be an inferior wine. A superior wine would have a better success rate because the seals were better on the bottles. There was more sanitation happening inside the factory. The bottles were cleaned before the fucking wine went in there. It's a bunch of different factors. If you were to go down to Walmart and buy one of them damn boxes of wine, it's like $10 box of wine, and give that to a fucking medieval king or a fucking king in the Renaissance fucking era of fucking like 1400s, 1300s, and gave that to a fucking king, he'd say that was the best fucking wine in the realm. Okay.
Well,
that's what they were looking for.
Even our cheap shit nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, because we have laws.
Yeah.
We have standards.
Yeah.
Even if like shit is like super cheap, it might not taste fantastic.
Yeah.
But at least you know like it's clean and it's probably been produced like to some like standard and stuff like that. So they didn't have that back then.
Yeah.
So I do kind of feel like, I don't know. I will say that I can tell the difference between real bottom of the barrel, like bottom shelf stuff.
Yeah.
That just tastes like rubbing alcohol. But once you get to like the second, third shelf up,
yeah,
I can't tell the difference between this stuff. Maybe some other people can, but I can't.
People who have fucking really looked into this with a critical eye, it's like art fucking appreciation, okay? People who have looked at this with a scientific and critical eye will tell you, basically, nowadays, all this shit you're drinking is safe, okay? In general, it's safe. You're not going to fucking kill
you're fine.
Get killed
It's
drinking
fine.
this. So that's one of the fucking big hurdles out of the way, because it wasn't safe back then. Okay, so you had to worry about that. What it's up to now is whether or not you like it.
Yeah.
If you drink it and like it, then it's good.
Sure.
All right. I proved that a couple weeks back when I fucking grabbed that fucking Cult Malt Liquor 45,
which
Colt
was
45.
perfectly delicious.
It was fucking, yeah.
Totally
It was,
drinkable.
Totally drinkable. It was good shit. And you got to look at the price comparisons. If you only have $1 something, here in the United States, your choices will be Bud, Coors, the real piss water beers. All right, and then maybe that Colt 45. I'd rather have the malt liquor than the fucking Colt for $1 something.
It tastes better.
It tastes better. Is it beer? I don't know. It's malt liquor. I don't really care how they made it. I don't care how they made it. It was high in alcohol content. The quality was good. It tasted good. It was a good drinking experience. For the money, you want to go for that. All right. Back in the day when I was a kid, you know what I mean? Fucking, you know, my white boys would be like, no, don't drink that. Fucking, that's shit. That's terrible stuff.
They didn't want you to find out that it was actually
they're like, that's not beer. Black dudes drink that. Don't fucking drink that. Well, the black dudes had it right.
They did.
They had it right.
And they were just like, whatever, white people, more for us.
Yeah. In that price segment, you want to go with fucking malt liquor.
I mean, that tasted way better than what I remember, like Bud or shit.
Yeah, malt liquor, the cheap malt liquor was a lot better than cheap beer. Yeah. Now, when you start going into you start moving up in price, you start going into microbrewery beer, yeah, you're going to want to go with that. This is the fucking $3, $4 fucking per bottle beer. You know what I mean? You're but when we're talking $1 something, no, fucking malt liquor. Is that beer? Probably not. No. It's a beer-like substance. That's the reason why dudes were turning their nose up.
But it tastes better.
Still tastes better. It didn't matter. You're still going to get drunk.
Sure.
So some of this stuff applies to hard liquor. Some of these flavored Jim Beams, like what was that called? Jim Beam honey? Mm-hmm. Jim Beam that Jim Beam apple, green apple. Mm-hmm. That shit was fucking good.
It was good.
Real good. And that's inexpensive. That's very fucking affordably priced. It was very affordable. Fucking $15 for a fifth of that shit. Less maybe. Price is fucking right. Man, 30 years ago, you would never be able to get a flavor like that. And I don't care if that might be artificial flavoring in there. What do I care? I'm into the drinking experience. Did it taste good? Did it taste good? Did it mix well with the other stuff? Did I catch a buzz on it? Did I have a good drinking experience with Jim Beam apple? Yeah, I did. I did
as well.
Yeah. So all this stuff is a miracle. It's a modern miracle compared to what was around 40 years ago, 30 years ago. The selection's a lot better and a lot more affordable.
I mean, I'm not really inclined to be picky. I didn't actually start drinking until I was older. So I don't really have any, I don't know, I don't have a lot of the maybe prejudices that like some other people have about, oh, this is like, we don't drink that or that and the other. I don't know. I don't know if that's still a thing nowadays, but I don't really have any of that. So I'm just kind of like, I'll buy whatever if it sounds okay and like try it out. And if it tastes good, I'll say it tastes good. And I'm just like, yeah, that's good. I don't give a shit if like hipsters don't like it or something. You know.
Well,
I don't know. I don't really know what's going on.
I can go and get like a bottle of. She worked for Van Gogh vodka, and
I did.
Van Gogh's fucking selling point. She did a lot of the graphic design and stuff. She took me to her fucking company dinner. Remember that? When I was in there with all the fucking Van Gogh.
That's right. Yeah.
It was a nice little dinner. That was before they started laying everybody off.
Yeah.
Because Pinnacle was kicking that ass, and that's what I'm gonna get at. Van Gogh had good craft vodkas. Mm-hmm. They were flavored. They tasted pretty good.
All their stuff was natural flavors.
Natural flavors.
They were very proud of that. No artificial flavors.
But what they were up against was Pinnacle.
Yeah.
And Pinnacle was artificially flavored, came in a plastic bottle, a lot cheaper.
Yeah, like half the price, or less than half the price, actually.
And I must say, Pinnacle tasted better.
Some flavors
Some
did.
flavors.
Some flavors
Some
did.
flavors, they tasted better. And on the back of those flavors, it kicked Van Gogh's ass. That Pinnacle fucking whipped cream was fucking great.
You could mix that with anything. That shit was delicious. The birthday cake one's pretty good too.
Yeah. It was a lot
Artificial flavored, but I don't know. It's
Yeah.
still good.
There is a magic of art. There's a certain magic behind artificiality. Fucking, you know what I mean? It's just like
Science,
titties.
bitches.
It's just like titties. You know what I mean? They got some badass natural titties, but then again, some fucking fake titties show up, and those motherfuckers are just badass. It's aesthetics, you know. Same thing with taste. It depends on what you're looking for. Now, Pinnacle won out. Although Van Gogh's back, Jenny and I we saw it at fucking ABC tonight.
Okay, now like ABC, I was curious, so I went and looked.
Their absinthe is back.
Well,
That was
they
fucking-
didn't make that.
Yeah,
they
that's-
just distributed
they
it.
distributed
I don't
it.
know if they're still distributing it because that whole like just distribution company is
Shit was
gone
expensive.
now. They do still have Lucid. They've redesigned
Lucid.
their bottle, but I like the redesign. It's
Yeah.
classy. I'm into it. I liked the minimalist shit they had going on back in the mid 2000s or mid 2010s, I guess. But the new design is nice. It's kind of like this big tall bottle, and they have like this raised metal shield type situation going on, and I was like, oh, I like that. I like that. It's very, very classy. Now, Van Gogh, though, is still around because at ABC, they had one Van Gogh flavor, which was espresso. I feel like that was their...
That was a good flavor.
Well, that was their best-selling flavor, I kind of feel like.
They had a couple
Their
of
espresso vodka is delicious. You can drink that by itself.
Van Gogh caramel was good. We had some.
Yeah, all their
that was
flavors
pretty
were good. I'm just
I
saying
like
their
that one.
espresso was my favorite.
Some of them weren't as good as Pinnacle, but fucking Van Gogh caramel was better than Pinnacle.
Yeah.
Van Gogh peanut butter and jelly was fucking good, but it didn't taste like jelly. It just tasted like peanut butter, and I like
Yeah.
that one. And then what was the other one that I liked? The berry ones, they were just not impressive to me. Remember they had like a blueberry one?
Yeah, they
It
had
was just
blueberry,
like,
they had raspberry.
Yeah, they were okay.
They were good, but they didn't really. There wasn't enough difference to justify. I think the price.
The flavor
difference.
wasn't quite strong enough because they're using all natural flavoring, so it's going to limit you. There's something to be said about artificiality in some of those flavors.
Well, like I said, it's like anything else. It depends. Like, what are you gonna do with this? Like I said, if I'm gonna mix this,
Artificial's the way to go.
then I want like a really strong flavor. So I
Right.
want like an artificial flavor because
Right.
the natural flavors are good if you're just gonna
If you're
drink
drinking
them straight.
Yeah.
They're actually much better. But if you're gonna mix them with orange juice or whatever,
Yeah.
then the artificial one's better.
So what I'm trying to get down to, people, is that do not be bamboozled by what they say when it comes to booze and alcohol and beer. If you like it, it's good. If you like it, it's good. Like I had those damn Mexican micheladas. When I was buying them, what was the name of that company?
Oh, no, I can't remember.
Modelo.
Yeah, that's right.
When I was buying them, they were like, "Oh yeah, that stuff. That's it's kind of like not good." But no, I made it the way it was, with salted the rim, put the ice in there, pulled the Modelos out, got that shit on video. That shit was great. It was great.
Those were good, actually.
Yeah, it was a great drinking experience. It was like a mixed drink, kind of made out of beer.
What we got? We got orange,
and then
pineapple,
and mango,
and mango,
and they all had spice backs like mango, habanero, and fucking this and that.
All of them were good. I think
were
the
all good.
pineapple was my favorite, but they were all good.
Now later on, Carnavatsan from fucking Mexico jumps in and he goes, "I don't know who told you Modelo was bad. That's one of the Mexico's best fucking brands of beer, and that's what we export." That's not quite what I think they meant at the fucking liquor store. What they meant is that it was kind of like artificially flavored and it's just kind of mass produced. It's not craft. But fuck that, man. It was a good drinking experience.
Yeah.
It wasn't cheap. It was like $3 a fucking can, which that's kind of an expensive can. Maybe
Yeah,
that was a big can. It was like
steep.
$3.50 a can.
It was a little steep.
But it was a good drinking experience. And
Yeah, they were all good.
That was an experience that 200 years ago you'd given that to a damn drink connoisseur, and you didn't show him that it came out of a can, he'd be like, oh, it's magnifique, fantastique, you know, shit like that. Magnifique. Yeah, fucking, it'd been like that, you know what I mean? It's all perception. It's all perception.
I try to kind of like keep that perspective.
Yeah, it's perception.
Because I'm just kind of like I said, I'm not a big booze connoisseur. I know what I like. But I don't, you know, I haven't drunk like, there's millions of things I haven't drunk. So some things I might like better. So sometimes I like really cheap shit. Sometimes I like expensive shit. It's just like whatever. And I've had really expensive shit that I didn't like too.
There are certain things where you don't want to there are certain things you don't want to cheap out on.
Sure.
Like if you're into single malt Scotch whiskeys. But you're looking for a particular thing when you're doing that. You know, you're looking for a particular drink experience. You're going to pay for that. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to replicate Glenfiddich Scotch. You're just not. You're going to have to buy Glenfiddich.
That's their own thing.
That's their own thing. You know what I mean? So, it's not across the board type of shit that cheap shit replaces expensive shit. No, it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just because it's inexpensive doesn't mean it's bad. There's certain fucking drink experiences out there that don't cost much. They're fucking good. They're good.
I'm going to say, and this not only applies to alcohol, but applies to pretty much everything. Up to a certain price point, you get what you pay for.
There's diminishing returns. Under
a certain price point, like, okay, for example, back in the old days, we used to get an Ibar. And what was the well liquor that they used? What was the name of that shit?
Man, there's a bunch of different ones.
I can't remember what the brand was.
The whiskey or the...
All of it. The brand that they used.
Yeah, shit was terrible.
Aristocrat.
Yeah.
That was the brand that they used?
Yeah.
Okay, I will admit, with my limited booze experience, that shit was terrible.
Aristocrat was bad.
It tasted like...
rubbing alcohol.
It tasted like rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was their well alcohol. So you knew better than to get that.
You had to be sloshed before you could drink Aristocrat.
Yeah, if you were really fucked up,
couldn't really tell.
Okay, it's fine. Like, it's way cheaper. Okay, I get it. But after, like, once you get to, like, the second or third tier up from that, there's not a hell of a lot of difference.
Like, for me, there's not a big difference between Chivas Regal and Chivas Royale. Chivas Royale is a lot more expensive than Chivas Regal. It's the same brand. I don't...
Well, I've never noticed a particular difference between, for example, Sam's vodka. Like, what is it called? American something?
Sam's?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just called Sam's fucking vodka.
Sam's vodka, American whatever.
It's basically Grey Goose, if you ask me.
It honestly, the difference between that and Sky, which is like twice the price, I can't tell the difference.
Well, it might
tell the difference.
It might be the same.
I suspect it might be the same. I can't tell the difference.
I think it's Grey Goose.
Which Grey Goose is like the good shit.
Yeah, I think it's Grey Goose. It tastes like Grey Goose to me. And it might have come out of the same distillery. Because some of it's brand naming and packaging and...
Well,
and stuff. But it tastes like Grey Goose to me.
Yeah, I've never really noticed the difference. Like, if we go...
It's high quality.
We don't go to Sam's as often because it's farther away now. It's much cheaper to buy liquor at Sam's, and their vodka and their tequila is actually really good. Their vodka is like $13.99 for a big fucking bottle. Yeah, so if you bought that same size bottle in, for example, Sky, it would be like twice the price because the Sky vodka is like $22.99, something like that, and the one at Sam's is, I think it's $13.99. That's what it was last time I bought it. And I honestly cannot tell the difference. Now, if you go like lower than that, like I said, you go to like Evan Williams or Aristocrat or something like that, then I can tell the difference. But other than that, I can't tell the difference.
That's Sam's Silver Tequila. Okay. Comes with a cork.
How much is that?
Nice bottle. That's about, I think, $12, I think, for that big old thing. And I can't tell this from Milagro Silver. And according to Khan, he said Milagro is the best brand you can buy in Mexico. He said Milagro is smooth as fuck. That shit,
I don't like
just
tequila.
Real good, smooth silver
Can't drink.
tequila, great in the mixed drink. They don't have a reposado or a gold, you know. They don't have it, but they just have a silver.
Yeah, they don't have a lot to pick from,
Right.
but what they do have is not, other than their whiskey sucks. But other than that,
terrible.
I'm just going to say,
Yeah.
their whiskey, like I said, tastes like licking an old barbecue grill that you haven't cleaned in a while. It's very, very burned tasting. But other than that, like every other spirit, every other liquor that I've got from there has actually been really good, other than the whiskey, which is terrible. Seth Seed says, I like your blue hair. On point. Thank you very much. Modelo is okay, says Victor. Yeah, I didn't
Try
really...
the micheladas.
I actually really liked those.
That Modelo,
It was like a double-sized
mango habanero michelada. I think it was habanero and mango.
It was, yeah.
I did it in a fucking salted glass with a salted rim with ice in it and poured it in there. Man, that shit was good. Got a whole video. And the pineapple was good, and so was the naranja. The orange.
I think the pineapple was my favorite,
They were all good.
but they were all good. And I don't even like mango, and the mango was like pretty much okay.
Yeah, the mango habanero. I think it was real good.
I think they
What
all
was
had...
it? Chipotle.
Oh, now I can't
Might have been mango
remember.
chipotle. Or mango
I didn't
habanero.
remember.
I don't
I
know.
didn't see them today.
It was good. It had some heat to it. No, I got that at the Redneck store.
Got this right next door. I mean, I'm sure they had it at ABC. I just wasn't. We weren't.
I looked for it. Didn't see it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Victor says I can only drink about 2 of those. They get me full quick.
Which ones?
The
Two.
Micheladas.
michelada?
Micheladas. Yeah.
If you guys don't know what a michelada is, you can see recipes online. Think of you're out on the street partying. Everybody's fucking drunk. You want a mixed drink. But maybe you don't have the money for fucking hard liquor. Or maybe it's too hot outside for hard liquor. So you make a mixed drink out of beer. Out of cheaper beer. And you pour it over ice and put flavoring in it and spices in it and salt the rim. You think that's fucking crazy. Oh no, it's fucking great, man. Fucking, and it's called a michelada. Some micheladas are based in tomatoes. Some micheladas are based in fruit.
Don't they make some with clamato?
Yeah,
Like tomato and clam juice?
Yeah, it's a tomato. Yeah, and then they'll put some fucking spice in there, some kind of chili, with a salted rim, and it's hot out, and you're fucking dancing, and you're drinking that, and you got girls everywhere. It's like that. That's the world that comes from.
Tom's fancy.
And you're drinking lots of. Oh no, that was a reality when I lived in Brazil. That was a reality. That was like fucking back there in Carnival. That's the kind of shit you drink during Carnival. Because you could drink a lot of them.
Charlie Huck says hi from Argentina. Love tonight's show.
How you doing? So you know
Well,
all
hey.
about Carnival. They don't have it in Argentina, but you probably fucking went up there.
Victor says it's kind of like a Bloody Mary made with beer.
Yeah, like a
It's
Bloody Mary.
kinda, yeah.
But they have fruit flavors.
Yeah, the ones we got were fruit
The one we have
flavored.
were fruit with spice. Yeah.
I love Bloody Marys though. Every now and then we make one. Like I said, they give me really bad heartburn, but I
Yeah.
love fucking Bloody Mary.
I don't think I ever went to Argentina.
You went to Chile though.
Went to Chile and I went to Montevideo. I think that's Uruguay or Paraguay. I don't think I ever went to Argentina. I heard Argentina had a damn bad economic collapse about 10 years ago. I don't know what's going on now. Maybe it's recovered.
I don't know. Have a chat. I gotta go to
Yeah.
the bathroom. Probably I should get another drink too. That's only my second or third one.
Yeah, I just pour some right here. Got them right here. In Brazil, here in the United States, Brazilian women have a reputation for being very good looking, very charming. In Brazil, Argentine women had a reputation of being charming. So it just is kind of goes around in a circle. I might have to put some more ice in that. Hold on one second. I'm coming back with some ice. Put this in Jenny's drink. Give her some ice too. There you go. Okay. I'll put some ice in the drinks.
I heard it crash. What happened?
Well, nothing crashed. What crashed?
Oh, I heard
No. Just what crashed?
I don't know. I heard it crash.
No. I was just putting the thing back in the ice.
Oh.
She's thinking the thing's crashed.
No, well, I was in the bathroom with like the fan on, and
No.
it sounded like something crashed.
No,
I was
not
like,
at all.
Oh my god, he fell over or something.
No.
Did you really like take off and like just leave two
No.
empty
I was
chairs?
talking. No, of course not.
Yeah, you did. Because I came
That's
out
when
of the
got
bathroom and
talking
you
to
weren't
somebody,
here.
get some ice. Hold on one second.
You weren't here. Pookie is like she's in the cat tree, like right outside my office, like looking at us like, what the fuck are you doing? Poor Pookie.
No, I have fun in Chile. Chile was fucking great back in the day.
Victor says Argentina is always having an economic collapse.
They can't deal with money. You can't give.
And Victor says
money.
Chile is on my bucket list. I'm an
Yeah.
earthquake chaser.
Yeah.
I've never been to Chile. You've been though. You've been.
Yeah, I was in Santiago.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It's like something out of James Bond.
Well, didn't they film some James Bond shit there?
Probably. Hold on, go to the restroom. All those people are good looking down there.
Tammy said, yes, Tom abandoned us. That's what I thought. I came out of the bathroom. Seriously, I go to the bathroom. It's like less than 2 minutes. He can't even stay here for less than 2 minutes. Oh my God, I can't even deal. I have to like sit here and talk while he goes to the bathroom and like wanders around the house for like 5-10 minutes at a time. But he can't even sit here for 2 minutes while I go to the bathroom. But you know, whatever. Because I came out and he was like running around. I don't know. Yeah, I know. I'm so hungry, you guys. It's like this fucking diet, man. It's killing me. But it's not a diet. I'm just trying to like not. All I've eaten today, I ate for breakfast. I had a cup of coffee, and I had 2 of those little cuties. Like oranges, tangerines, what the fuck are those? I don't know. Those. I had 2 of those for breakfast. For lunch, I had a chicken salad sandwich and a couple of crackers. And that's it. And the liquor. That's all I've had today. And I rode 20 miles on a bike today. So there's that. Louis says, good afternoon, everyone. Late to the show again. That's okay. We're just hanging out. Getting drunk on moonshine. We haven't even like busted open the rum that we got yet. I told him, I'm like, because look, I don't have a lot of money, and he doesn't have a lot of money. So I was like, we're going to get the moonshine, and that shit's really expensive. They were legit almost $20 per jar, and we got 2 of them. So I was like, well, that's fucking $40 right there. So I was like, well, we were almost out of vodka, and we were almost out of rum. And I was like, well, let's get something cheap that we can mix with things that we already have. Like, because we already have orange juice, we already have... There's some kind of like tropical juice blend or something like that we have in there. So I was like, I want to get something cheap that we can mix with that, so I don't have to just like drink the moonshine, because that's going to be, we got to sip that slow because it's very expensive. So we got this, and it was on sale. I think it was like, this was $11.99. Like normally I think this was $14.99 or something. And I was like, I don't even think I tried this brand before, but they had it on sale for $11.99, and I was like, they can't be that bad. I mean, it was only 1 or 2 shelves down from like the good shit, so we'll see how it goes. We haven't even like busted that open yet. So I was like, well, I'm gonna pay money. I want something that's like, and you know what's weird? The girl that works at the ABC, she remembered us from last week. Like last week we went in there, and I guess we mentioned when we were checking out, because we were buying all the pumpkin spice stuff, and I think Tom had like his podcast shirt on or something like that, and he's like, yeah, we're buying this stuff to like taste test on our show, and she remembered that from last week. So she came in today, and I was buying the stuff. She's like, oh, you taste testing stuff again? Because I was buying the butter pecan like moonshine. And I was like, yeah. She's like, how'd that last stuff work out? So I was like, wow. So it's like she remembered. Did you see that? Because you went to a different checkout.
Yeah.
the girl from last week remembered us.
Oh, did it?
And asked, she's like, "Oh, how'd that last taste test work out?"
Okay,
because she remembered all the
Yeah.
pumpkin spice stuff she bought. So I was kind of like, seriously though, okay, let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
I'm not shitting on old dudes.
She's shitting on old dudes.
I'm not. I just said I wasn't.
You just prefaced this shit like I'm not shitting on old dudes. You get shit on old dudes. Okay, go ahead.
But, well, I'm just saying I have experience with this too.
Yeah.
So the old dude I was behind in line was like talking to the girl that I eventually checked out with.
Yeah.
Old dudes, I guess they're lonely. I'm not shitting on them, like I said, because I guess they're lonely. But they go out to the liquor store.
Oh, Louis is here. Do you say hi to Louis?
Yeah,
What's up, Louis? Okay, yeah. What's up, Louis?
Yeah, he said late to the show
Yeah.
again. It's fine. I mean, you did miss a lot, but
Yeah.
it's okay. We were just talking about bullshit.
And Sebastian said,
We talk about food and booze like we usually
Sebastian, I don't know. You said we're facing an economic collapse. I don't know who we are. I don't know what country you're in. Okay, go ahead.
do. Like, what else is new?
Yeah, you got to preface the shit.
Like, look,
we're headed towards a global fucking
I'm
problem.
always facing it. I've been facing an economic collapse since I was a child.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like used to it. So.
But the whole fucking Western world's fucked up. It's gonna. Y'all need to buck up. Be strong.
I'm used to it.
Be strong. And fucking.
I'm used to it. This
Yeah,
is like
be strong.
no different than what I've.
It might get
experienced
bad.
ever.
We'll see. It might get bad. But do what you can to fucking cover your ass.
Just saying.
Yeah, as much as you can.
Well, like I said, it's like I'm kind of used to it.
Right.
So, because I've been poor my whole life, so I'm not worried about it. So, but yeah, so he was in front of me in line. Like there were two lines open because it's Friday, so everybody's in there like buying booze. So Tom goes to the other line, and I'm still waiting because I was like, well, I'll buy half of the shit, you buy half of the shit. We did a whole thing. So I'm waiting behind this old dude, and I said to myself, like, this old dude is just talking about Grand Marnier to this girl.
And nobody cares about Grand Marnier.
Like, for ages. And I'm just kind of like... And he keeps looking back at me like, oh, there's somebody waiting. I'm like, yeah, somebody's waiting.
Yeah.
That's how life works. So maybe you should move it along.
Some old people want to be the center of attention.
Well, see, that's what... And that reminded me, because I used to work in a print shop.
Yeah.
And we used to have, there was like 2 or 3 old guys, and they would come in and just get like some bullshit, like one thing printed or some shit like that. And then they would be in there for like half an hour, like an hour, like talking about whatever. And it's
well,
like,
that was their social interaction.
that's
for
what I
the
mean.
day.
And they'd be talking about like politics, or they'd be, I'm just like, and I'm sitting there going,
That's their internet.
and I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, please kill me. And it's just like, this is why I can't stand working in customer service. Because, like, look, I don't want to have to stand there for half an hour, and listen to you bullshit about whatever the fuck you care about. Because I don't care about it. And I have to be nice to you, or I'm going to get fired. And that's not cool.
Yeah.
So the fact that I have to stand there and like listen to whatever crap you're talking about is like really, and I had that a couple times, like when I worked at the print shop, like these crazy old dudes would come in and be like, these kids today with their abortions and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, oh Jesus Christ, please.
That's their internet.
Please kill me. And it's just like, please find something better to do. Get a dog or something that you can talk to. Yeah. Please don't come here and talk to me because I don't want to hear it. It's like, you know, but.
Well, it's just
hopefully,
that's been going on forever.
I know. It's like I just really, really don't want to be like that when I'm old.
My grandmother died.
Fuck, man.
My grandmother died. Worried about shit that was like I laughed at. You know what I mean? And her concerns, what she was concerned about, was just like just crazy, out of date shit, and that's just the way it is. But the thing is that was them. That was another generation undergoing a fucking massive transition that we went through. We even transitioned into the internet. Okay? We don't age the way they do. It's very different now. You know what I mean? Gen X is not growing old the same way as boomers grew old. And then the fucking pre-boomers. What did you call those dudes? Like my grandmother, she wasn't even a boomer. She was before that. I don't know what you call that. A caveman. You know, she was a caveman. They were cavemen. Certain things that they knew were right, but they were very, very basic. Outside that, they worried about things that weren't worryable. You know? My grandmother didn't believe me when I said that I went to University of Michigan to go visit my friend Steve, all right, and that the dorms there were co-ed, that each fucking apartment was male, female, male, female. She lost her shit behind that. Oh no, that can't be right. So oh no, yeah, it was good. Oh well, then who would send their children to a university?
It's a den of iniquity.
Yeah. And I was just looking at her, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What planet are you from?
You're right. So you have to understand that not all, the boomers are fucked up. Not all of them, but most of them are fucked up. But their parents were even more fucked up. All right. They're all dead now. Okay. And they have no idea what was going on. My grandmother would think what was happening right now was hell.
That's
she would be in hell. Yeah, in hell.
To
All right. That there's no way that this is possible. You know. But we don't really have to worry about that because we're changing along with everybody else.
Well,
okay. We're in the same medium as other people. I think when she died, I don't think she knew anything about the internet.
well, my grandma did.
Yeah.
Like she saw us using it, like in the 90s and stuff, but
yeah,
she was afraid of it and didn't get it. Like we'd be like, look, you can do this and that and the other. She's like, no.
Right. And what was funny is that as resistant as they were to reality, they were also they were kind of beta. They were very follower-ish. They had to be told what to do. They weren't as independent as people think. They were very much into the hierarchy and very much into having elected leaders telling them how to think and what to do. They would never fucking accept what they're being told to do now, you know, and what to think now. So they would think that they were in hell. But so they weren't. I'm kind of like on the. I'm kind of like, I wouldn't call myself a conservative at all. I'm not very conservative, but I'm traditionalist. I don't know if that, because I don't think conservatives conserve anything. I think that's a fucking lame term. But I am like kind of like on the right, I would say. But then how you define that, I think a lot of what they do is full of shit, too. Some people would say that. Well, I don't know exactly what I was getting at.
You forgot?
Yeah. The older generations fucking didn't really understand anything. They were very low information. They weren't dumb. It's just that they didn't have all the information. So it kind of fucking skewed their opinions on things. They would see a goth and their minds would go fucking crazy and just read into some shit like that. Like that meant something.
Well, I remember when that
just
happened.
Like, that doesn't fucking really mean that what you think it is. They were difficult to deal with.
Well, you tried to explain it to them, like it's
Right.
like, look, I just like the aesthetics, I like music and stuff like that, and they really didn't.
They couldn't understand any of that.
They're like, no, it must have some greater meaning.
Right.
You must be like into Satanism or something. I'm like, really, no.
You must be a communist. You must be on this and that.
I'm like, really, no.
Man, fucking
it's really not that.
When I got out of
Calm down.
When I got out of the army and moved to fucking Boston, I started hanging out in one of the coolest goth clubs. It was called fucking in the United States at the time. It was called Man Ray's. And Man Ray was like the Bat Cave. All right, it was like the Bat Cave of fucking Boston. Some people that would go to the fucking Bat Cave, and that shit kind of dwindled down during the 90s, but some of the people from the New York scene would come to our scene and go, man, this is fucking awesome. Tina Root from fucking Switchblade Symphony loved it. She says, no, this is the fucking best club we've seen in the nation. She toured through there. On the surface, like my grandmother would probably think, yeah, these are all a bunch of fucking communists or crazy, but it's not the way it was. My best buddy, it was just a thing of the time. His name was Vadim Konyev, all right? And he was a Russian infantry veteran who'd survived the fucking collapse of the Soviet Union. And I was an American veteran who'd fucking went through all that shit in the 90s. And he was goth as fuck. and I was goth as fuck, and we were hanging out in the club scene. I showed Jenny pictures of him. He goes, man, he's cute. He looked like a fucking Antonio Banderas, big long fucking black hair, and he was into computers. And I would call him a fucking like a hardcore Russian dude. He would be a kind of like a fucking militant, traditionalist Russian, old school. You know what I mean? Fucking, you'd call him on the right. But fucking, we dated girls that would be on the left. Fucking, we got along with him. He had a fucking computer shop and a 3-story house that he owned at that time, and every floor had had strippers living on it. They were almost the same thing. They were almost the same thing. And fucking, he had all these fucking strippers living with him, and fucking, his girlfriend was a stripper. And then he broke up with her, but she'd hang out with him anyway. She was cool too, Boston stripper. And there were all these goth stripper fetish girls and shit. And we just had a good time, man, in the club scene. And somebody like an old school generation would never really understand that, hey, no, we're actually kind of like the traditionalists, you know? Fucking, that are around. They judge people by how they dressed, all right? And we got along back then. If you ask me, look, if you really look at this left-right paradigm, which in the American system I think is fucking bullshit because the two-party system is all fucking fake. They're all loyal to fucking bureaucrats and fucking oligarchs. But the energies behind left and right actually need each other for survival because they're like two sides of the same coin. They really should be working together. Right now the fucking divisions are fucking bad, you know, and it's I don't know how it's going to work out, but it's not going to work out good, I don't think. But back in the day, people got along, all right? You weren't at each other's throats like that. You know, it was kind of like male and female, positive, negative, yin and yang, and dark and light. You had to have it. One side kind of complemented the other. There are certain things that the fucking left is right about. There are certain things that the right is right about. There's a lot that both sides are wrong about. You know what I mean? Nobody's right about everything. It's kind of like a, what do you call it? It's a spectrum. Everything kind of has to be kind of
everything
tempered.
is a spectrum.
Everything, it's a spectrum.
That's really how you should approach everything.
Right.
That's why I really don't like, ever since I was born, pretty much, or ever since I can remember, I do not like any kind of hierarchical, authoritarian, I don't like anything like that. Anybody telling me what to do, how to live, what to do, like any of that stuff, I don't like it.
Well, it depends on the situation.
I don't like that stuff.
If you're in
now, some stuff...
It depends on the situation.
Well, yeah.
If you're in the kitchen, the fucking head chef is in charge of that.
That's what I'm saying.
If
like,
you
it
are
depends
at war,
on...
if you are at war, the military fucking experts who fucking have fucking military experience that have killed people and fucking been through this shit, they are in charge. So, yeah. But there has to be hierarchy, but it's situational. And it's mission-oriented.
That's what I mean. When there's no point to it,
yeah,
I don't really understand being told what to do or how to like live my life or anything like that. I was kind of laughing at Gramthars saying us old guys love pestering the poor girls behind the counter. Please don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Please don't do that.
Leave them girls alone.
We think they dig us, but actually we're a pain in the you are a pain in the ass. We are a pain in the ass.
They're digging some
honestly.
Dude, they're digging some dude that's 1/3 your age, and she on her fucking phone.
Look, I worked at a fucking record store in the mall. And sometimes you'd get like some old motherfucker coming in there. Because old dudes, and I worked at a print shop, like old dudes come in, they're lonely, I get it. But they come in and this is their social interaction for the day. And I'm like, you gotta impose that on me. Me! And my ass is like, look, I don't give a shit about how lonely you are. I don't give a shit about it. I don't like to talk to people. I don't like to deal with people. I just want a paycheck and I want to go home. You know what I mean? So don't come in here and like fucking regale me with your... It's just tiresome. The whole time you're talking, I'm going to be like, please shut up, please shut up, please shut up, please shut up. I'm going to be like that. So I'm just telling you. And probably most people are the same.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, please shut up, please shut up. So please don't do that. Please don't do that. So retail workers, they don't make enough money to like put up with that bullshit. I'm just saying. John Gora says, I always just listen to the old people talk to the cashier. It's the mundane patter that makes up reality. It can be very illuminating. Well, it's fun to an extent, but when I'm just waiting to like check out my fucking liquor, I'm like, dude, shut up. Nobody cares. Just get out.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be that person. I'm old too, but you know. Gramthars says, that generation, talking about the older generation, looked at goths, minorities, and anyone who didn't look like them with great judgment and suspicion. I remember that. Honestly, I kind of feel like I didn't even look that weird back in the day by today's standards. By today's standards, you could walk around and no one would even like look twice at you. But back then, man, I was just like at school, people thought I was a Satanist. You'd go in a store and like dudes be following you around, think you were like stealing shit and stuff like that, like back in the 80s. Jesus Christ. It was it was a whole thing.
I guess I just lived in a good time. I got to see a little bit of everything. Gramthars was there. We grew up together for a certain period. We had a good time, Gramthars. We got to see a good fucking variety of fucking things, because the world was changing during our whole lives.
That's what I mean. I don't love
You're
that.
not really stuck in anything.
Well, yeah, and honestly, it's like it's not cool. It's not awesome being old. I'm not saying that. Like I don't love being old, but I do like that we grew up like on the cusp of no internet and all this kind of. But then we had internet.
Yeah, we know the difference.
So we kind of like are right in between those things. So we kind of like had feet in both camps.
Yeah.
I really like how that worked out, because we understand what the world was like before.
Yeah.
And we understand what the world was like after. So I kind of feel like that gives us like a little bit of a unique perspective, actually.
Yeah. I fucking grew up in my early years in a Christian military academy in California, very anti-communist. Okay? And then later on in the service. And then after that, in the goth scene, hanging out with a dude that was just like me from a fucking Russian infantry unit. It was an ex-communist. And fucking, we're having he was like my best buddy during that time. And we were fucking scooping up on all these girls back in those days. Fucking, Jenny saw him. We were fucking cute back in those days. And superstars. And it was great. And he'd tell me everything about the communist system and how fucking ridiculous it was, that you couldn't get, how restrictive everything was, that you couldn't get anything done, and how limited shit was. It was like being in the army, but even when you were a civilian, you were like in the army. Everything was run with, or they tried to run everything with military precision, including the civilian economy. Man, that's a huge task. You can't get that done. You got to give people the freedom to fucking run their own business, you know, or to fucking manage a company and disseminate product. Everything was about paperwork, and just the bureaucracy, from what he said, was just fucking bureaucracy fucking just choked everything down. And it was just like meaningless bureaucracy. It was fake. And just meeting that dude, and it was funny because it was like the Cold War was over. And you realize that they were like us in many ways. In some ways they were better, they were tougher. Vadim was kind of like somebody that come out of a damn maximum security prison in some ways, or a military unit. It was like a weird mixture of stuff. And he was, imagine a dude that had come out of a maximum security prison and a whole bunch of fucking hardship and strength, but then he had all this education. He was super educated, knew everything about the arts, knew everything about fucking Russian history and their literature and everything. He was just, you know, and he didn't have a college degree. It's just, that's the way they were. They were far more knowledgeable than people think. They were squared away. And then they were kind of like, he was kind of like, he could criticize the system. He was critical about it, critical analysis, you know. And he liked the Western system better. He just said, just more naturalistic, just kind of let it happen by nature. You can't control it. But we'll see, you know. He's in Germany now. I haven't talked to him in
like I said,
a few months.
I mean, I kind of consider myself a leftist or progressive or whatever you want to call it, but I like to think that I don't have any kind of like cultist allegiance to anything, so I like to see things as objectively as possible. I'm a very scientifically minded person. So
The problem with progressivism is this. You can progress until you get it right. Once it's right, you can't progress out of that. It's right. Just leave it. And a lot of progressives will get it right, and then they try to progress outside that, and now it no longer works.
yeah, but that's a word, and you're getting hung up on that.
What?
You're getting hung up on that word,
What word?
progressive.
I'm just going to go back and say what I said before. Some progressives will get something right and then try to progress outside of that, and now it's not right anymore. You know, fucking once it's right, leave it alone. Once the society works, leave it alone. Fucking just let it work. Because some things are right. You know, there's no reason to change something that's already working. If it's fixed, don't burn. It's a military fucking. The military does the same thing. You know what I mean? Fucking don't. If it's not broken, don't fix it. You know, fucking. You try to fix something that's already working, then you're just gonna fuck it up. Because it's an analog system. It's not digital, and it's also reality isn't moral. It's more practical than anything else. Yeah, you can try to inject some fairness into it, but then there's going to be a bunch of fucking disagreements about what's fair. As long as everybody's making money and everybody's happy, then it's working. That's how it goes.
Victor
You can't get much better than that.
Victor said we need to get rid of lobbying and put term limits and age limits in for Congress. I agree with that.
Yeah, there's too much corruption in there. Those motherfuckers show up without a pot to piss in, and then
too many old farts. Also.
Yeah, and then you look at they showed up with no money, and now they're billionaires. You gonna tell me that they're honest? No, not at all. They're fucking taking kickbacks from huge corporations. So they're not working for us. They're working for them. They're working for those fucking corporations and those oligarchs.
But that's been going on forever. So.
Yeah, but that's not good.
Well, no, it's not good.
Not
I'm
good.
just saying it's been going on forever. It's
And
not
just
new.
the longer it goes on, the worse it gets. So something's got to be done about it.
Zach says Zach got a job.
All right. So Zach decided he was going to get a job.
No, he got a job. He was
decided he was gonna get a
messaging me
job.
about it earlier.
Okay.
Like, he asked me if I had any advice because it was at a print shop. I was like, dude, I think the last time I worked at a print shop was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've never been good at interviews, so I don't know what to say. But he says, I'm super excited for my print shop job. What was yours like, Jen? The place I'll be working at seems cool as all hell. I hope it is. Okay, I worked at one place in Tampa that all I remember about it was like the dude that owned it was like the world's biggest. Who's that motherfucker that did that fucking
Yeah.
what's all that Key West bullshit? If you like no, it's not that. What the fuck was that name? What's the name of the song? I'll remember in a second. But he liked all that kind of music. You'll remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, he played that fucking CD over and over. And I wasn't into that. I worked there a month and then I took off. But when I moved to Orlando initially, I got a job at a print shop in Oviedo. And it was actually owned by a gay couple, and they were actually really, really cool. Like, I actually I was really good friends with them, and that was a cool job. I liked that a lot. What?
Gramthars said that Steve is coming over to fucking build his first AR. Do you have the little fucking plastic jigs and the vise? I got all that. And then Victor Garcia says that fucking the boomers were fighting fascism, and now they're begging for it here at home. What it is it's fucking
Kinda, yeah.
corporations have fucking taken over, and they own the media, and they own both parties, most of both parties. If you believe anything outside that normal fucking Republican Democrat paradigm, and that's the paradigm that they want because they can control that, then they're going to call you a racist and a fascist and a threat to democracy. But that's all lies. What it is that you are a threat to their oligarchy and their money. That's what it is. And what they do is to survive is that they divide the people. They're trying to divide the people to keep them fighting against one another. That's how they keep themselves in power. And that's been going on for hundreds of years. The British actually invented that shit back in India, back in the imperial age. Do you divide a population and get them to fight one another so you can stay in power? And that's all it is. This is an oligarchy, all right? It's not a democracy. It's an illusion of a democracy. They want you to vote for candidates that they control. If they don't control them, they don't want you voting for them. That's all it is. And they don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about us. They only care about their power and their money. They don't live here, all right? They got islands and shit with Florida's underage sex girls and shit. They're all fucking proven, all right? They make a shit ton of money. It can't go on forever. It's coming to a head. The world is changing. There must be a true democratic process. People have to follow laws. They are above the law. And you can't do that, okay? It'll start to become an anarcho-tyranny like Brazil. And I was in there and I know exactly what that's like. And that's kind of what we have, is an anarcho-tyranny with the illusion of a democratic process. They want elections, but they want rigged elections with candidates that they own. That's all it is. And not me saying this, and this is not something new. This has been going on for a long time. And now they're lying about it. I remember fucking 6-7 years ago, University of Notre Dame came out with a fucking study saying they tracked what the House and the Senate does and the bills and everything, and they tracked everything, and they found out that really everything that they pass is only advantageous to them and the ruling class. None of it has anything to do with the people. It's not a true democratic republic. It's an oligarchy, you know. And we just have to start accepting it for what it is. It's the highest form of organized crime. And a lot of it has to do with what fucking General Eisenhower warned about. It's a bureaucracy, and behind that bureaucracy is a fucking military-industrial complex that Eisenhower worried about. As long as we're at war, they're making money. And they want these fake wars. And I fought in fucking one of them. But they lied to us about what it was. It takes time to figure out. The internet has fucking pulled the wool over, has pulled the fucking veil. Slowly, people are starting to realize what this is. I think, I'm going to reassure you people, this is a dangerous time. I'm going to reassure you. I think America will be reborn. It's going to take time. It's going to be hard. But eventually, this shit will stop. We're just going to have to get rid of them. You just got to vote them out of office. Everybody's got to start talking about what this is, so where they can't hide. And then once that happens, these wars will stop. And this quest for being a unipolar fucking superpower and trying to wage war at anything that threatens us. There are other countries, there are other civilizations in here. We can't tell people how to live. We're not the world police. That's a fucking fantastic movie with the little puppets. What was the name of that? What was the name of that one with the little puppets? It was kind of like the Thunderbirds. This shit was funny as fuck. Something or other.
What are you talking about?
It was that funny fucking program. It was called Thunderbird World Police.
What, South Park?
Yeah, it's fucking something or other World Police, where fucking they got America going around trying to stop all the other nations from being what they are. It shit was fucking hilarious. But that's what they want, because they make money on it. It's about money. I'm gonna. You want some more ice?
Yeah, right?
Oh, I'm fucking loaded, man.
Team America World Police.
Team America World Police. That shit, that's what it is. That's what it is. Because Team America World Police makes a lot of money for them. We get some ice. This moonshine is fucking slamming.
I mean, it better be. It was
slamming.
$19 for that jar. $19. It's good, though. It's good. Victor says the internet has also made a large percentage of Americans into batshit crazy conspiracy theorists. Yep. I see that happening. It's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. I wouldn't go back to the old days before we had the internet, but the internet's made a lot of things easier, and it's also made it easier to disseminate bullshit. So, you know, double-edged sword, like I said. I wouldn't want to go back, but there's always side effects. Always side effects.
Yeah, but if you look deep enough,
Hugo says, also, I think the 80s were one of the best decades because young people today still love the 80s era. I mean,
it was so optimistic. It was a time of optimism.
That's the thing. Like, look, I lived through, like, both of us lived through the 80s.
Yeah.
I was a teenager. I graduated from high school in 1990. So my formative years were the 80s, as were yours.
Yeah.
Would I want to go back to the 80s?
No.
No. There was some cool shit back then. Not saying that.
It's because the 70s were over. That's why the 80s was so good.
I kind of feel like that might have been,
Yeah.
There was a lot of cool shit about the 80s, but there was a lot of really lame shit about the 80s too. Because honestly, like I said, me and him, we grew up at the 80s. We were in high school in the 80s, junior high school in the 80s.
We were looking forward. Everything seemed to be possible in the 80s.
Although,
it just
let me give that a little bit of a caveat, because the 90s blew.
I liked them.
Hated the 90s.
I liked them. I
hated the 90s.
I guess that's a person.
Once I graduated, I graduated from high school in 1990. And once, honestly, like, I don't know, and maybe this is kind of like coming from the perspective of somebody that was kind of like into more like the underground kind of stuff. So I graduated from high school in 1990. 1991 was the year that punk broke, where, you know, Nirvana's Nevermind was like a huge thing. Everybody like discovered underground music suddenly. And so everybody got back into all this 80s stuff, and suddenly my life became not as good anymore because everyone's like, oh, now I love the Pixies. And I'm like, yeah, well, I've liked the Pixies for many years. But it was like a hipster thing. So after that happened, I don't know. I kind of feel like everything went, like, it got commercialized. Like, everything that had been cool about the 80s was commodified.
I don't know. I didn't quite see it that way.
Well, that's what it seemed like to me. Because it kind of seemed like after Tim Burton kind of came out, and, like, after all that kind of stuff came out, then suddenly, like, the mainstream was like, oh my god, like, we love all this, like, goth type stuff, but, like, not, I don't know, like, it wasn't the same. And I don't know, it just kind of, like, bummed me out. I didn't really like the 90s. Yeah, there was some good movies that came out then. There was the good music that came out then. But it's like, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. Yeah. I can't really, like, put my finger on it, but it wasn't the same. Like, after the 90s came in, and a lot of the trends of the 90s, even now, like, now that I'm old and I, like, look back on, like, the trends of the 90s and stuff, I'm like, man, that shit was that was lame. I would never, like, defend any of the trends that came out in the 90s because I didn't, like, even like it back then. Even back then, I was just kind of like, man, this decade blows. I don't like it. Honestly, I like, the later decades more than I like the 90s. I don't like the 90s.
Yeah, Victor, I want to recommend a channel to you. Here on YouTube, look for a channel. Name is Garland Nixon. He's an ex-cop, ex-police investigator who's way into this topic that we're talking about with the fucking the military-industrial complex, deep state, geopolitics. He's an ex-police investigator, African-American dude, fucking genius, all right? And when you listen to fucking Garland, that he's right. He's right. He's got the military police background, the knowledge of fucking bureaucracies and how systems work, and how centralized governments work. He has the fucking historical knowledge. The motherfucker's a genius. He's just unsung genius. Garland, his name is Garland Nixon. Go check him out. And he's real good. He doesn't have a whole lot of followers, but he's been guests on a bunch of shows. But whatever he says, just picture me going, yep, exactly. Yep, exactly. That's my experience also. Yes, exactly. They're not intelligent. They're dumb. The people that are running this. I'm gonna let him. I'm not gonna fucking put words in his mouth. You'll see. They're just kind of going based upon what they're told to do. It's a fucking system, and it's failing. It's failing. It's time for a reboot. It's going to change.
One thing that I realized fairly early when I was young was that I realized that most of the people running the world were dumber than me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, that's alarming.
That's dumb.
Alarming.
They're dumb, and they're doing what they're told to do, and they're just trying to get through the day, and there's a pattern to that system. And Garland Nixon, listen to what he says. He's even talking about Ukraine and what's happening there and where the money's going and why they're doing what they're doing and what the end result will be. And he'll use historical fucking data. He's got training of a fucking real investigative fucking reporter. And he's just doing what an investigative reporter in another era would have done. But they're all paid off now. They're corporate. Corporations just pay him to put out propaganda, really, is what they're doing.
Zach said, as much as I love the internet, I feel like it's damaged people's ability to communicate interpersonally in some ways.
Especially young people.
I don't know, because the thing about it is that, I mean, I grew up before there was an internet, and before there was an internet, I was not a big fan of, like, communicating with people interpersonally, so...
Oh, I can give examples.
It wasn't really a thing for me. So, honestly, when email came along, when all that kind of, like, stuff, I was like, oh my god, hallelujah, like, I can actually, like, communicate with people in the way that I would prefer to communicate with people, which was in writing. I'm not really big on communicating with people in person. I feel like I don't come across in person the same way that I would ideally like to come across with people. So I like to, like, be able to, like, think about what I'm going to say, so I like to kind of, like, write stuff. You know what I mean? So the fact that now everybody is communicating like that, that was like a big boon for me. I feel like, and I feel like I'm maybe not the only person.
I can mitigate. I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to mitigate that a little bit. Jenny and I, in our fucking work in the clubs and hang out in clubs, we run across couples that are the guys in his early 20s, the girls in her late teens, and when they show up, they are a little awkward because they've been doing a lot of online stuff. They're new to face-to-face negotiations and socializing. But when you really start fucking with them and hitting them hard and shit and like, look, this is what you... They come up to snuff quite quickly. It's just because very young people who are not really used to a club scene and dealing with people face-to-face have a lot of inhibitions that come from the online culture. You can get them to break that mold quickly. Older people can that are in the club scene. And when they do, they succeed like anybody else. But it may be a kind of a thing where the young person now deals with older people face-to-face in a direct way, kind of like the way we do. But they may not deal with their peers like that. But they still see the technique and the truth of what you showed them. Now, I'm mostly talking about the guy that I'm talking about. The female that I was talking about in that example, she kind of didn't make it. She ended up leaving the scene and running off with fucking some other guys. But I think they're kind of, from her posts, they're kind of snapping her out of it too. Older people can snap younger people out of that.
Well, the thing about it, though, is that I kind of feel like people put too much emphasis on in-person interaction as opposed to online interaction. Because I kind of feel like those two things are not that different. Like, if you're interacting with people in real time, like, yeah, that's a little bit different. but it's not that different to interacting with people online. I wouldn't like want to, I don't know. I feel like I don't really want to like disparage like people's like online, because that's kind of like a relationship too. Like, yeah, hanging out with people online is like in real life as opposed to online is different, but I don't think it's as different as people have painted it as.
All right.
Is what I'm saying.
7. To answer your question, yeah, coil and throbbing gristle were good, but that's not early industrial for us. I liked Skinny Puppy. All right.
I like throbbing gristle.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I can go even further
gristle.
back to like Skinny Puppy and early Front 242.
Throbbing gristle was before Skinny Puppy.
Hey, was it? Okay,
Yes.
all right. Okay,
Sorry.
I didn't know they went back that far.
Yeah,
I was into Skinny Puppy, Front 242, and then later on like fucking Chem Lab, Frontline Assembly. You know, that was the
All that shit was like later. That was later.
90s,
That's what I mean. That was later.
but not Skinny Puppy. Skinny Puppy was 80s.
Throbbing Gristle was 70s.
I didn't know. I never heard of them. Didn't hear of them until later. I didn't know about them. Remember, it was back then. There was no internet. It just depended on what record you found.
Yeah. Well, I know.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, so I didn't hear about them until later.
Yeah.
I knew about Newbauten. Einstürzende Newbauten. I knew about those.
Einstürzende.
I didn't like them that much, though.
Ooh, I like them.
I thought it was a little too
Einstürzende.
noisy. There wasn't much music to it during the time that I fucking
Well,
listened to it. It was
like I
just
said,
late
it's
80s.
experimental. Like, they're experimenting with other forms, which, like I said, that was one of the things that I liked about the whole post-punk movement, which was not only music, but it was also like art and everything like that. Everybody was experimenting with like shit that hadn't been done before. Einstürzende and Neubauten were like, we're gonna make music, but out of stuff that you wouldn't make music out of.
I didn't like them that much.
I do like them though. I like them, but like I said, they started out doing like stuff. We're gonna make music out of stuff that you wouldn't make music out of, like, you know, pipes and shit like that. But I have to say, like, as they progressed, Blix and Bargeld, you know, by the way, was in Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, which probably my favorite band of all time. Nick Cave and Birthday Party, my favorite thing. But they kind of like, as it went on, they had an album that came out, I think it was in 2004. Was it 2004? I want to say. And they had an album that came out back then where they were kind of like, they went back to like minimalist kind of stuff, and that shit was amazing. I listened to that like so much. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like really into it. But you know, it's, you know how you do. I know how you do. So Zach says, as much as I love the internet, I feel like it's damaged people's ability to communicate interpersonally in some ways. I think we addressed that.
I thought you read that already.
Yeah, I did. I don't know. It did, but like, I don't know. I guess. Victor says, the 90s were my teenage years. I fucking love the 90s. Fair enough. I turned 18 in 1990. So, the 90s, I wanted to like the 90s. I did. I was excited about it. But then, man, I graduated in 1990, and then, like, it seemed like everything just went to shit. Everything went to shit. Everything just went, like, all the goth shit that I loved in the 80s, like, went all corporate. And went like all corporate and industrial.
They tried to make things fucking like high tech. That was like when fucking Deep came out from fucking Peter Murphy.
Now that was a great album.
That sounded corporate to me. Sorry,
but it was 1990.
Yeah, it sounded corporate to me.
That was 1990.
Yeah.
Now I will say that I do prefer his 88 album, which was Love Hysteria. Deep was good too, though. But after that, yeah, Peter Murphy from Bauhaus, he was trying to pursue, he wanted some fucking, he's like, look, all of the indie shit is going mainstream, and I'm gonna like cash in on that. I get it. I don't blame him, but
yeah,
That was a good album. I'm not saying
Deep
that
was a good album.
That was a good album.
It sounded corporate to me. Okay, well, how long we been going? Because it's time for us to get something to eat.
3:14.
Yeah, okay. We can shut it down.
Hang on.
All right.
Hang on. Jeffy Art said the 80s were a mixed bag for me. Loved the music and pop culture. But it was a bad time to be gay due to the rise of AIDS and homophobia. Just my perspective. Yeah.
That was always there.
Well, yeah, I kind of feel like I said, I liked the 80s for a lot of things, but the reason that I wouldn't go back is just because I didn't love the whole... Look, growing up goth in the 80s, you walk in a department store and everybody thought, oh my god, you're like fucking... They do that to you. It's like, you fucking... Are you in a Dungeons and Dragons? Are you a Satanist?
I thought all that shit was funny.
It is
I thought all
funny.
that shit was funny.
It is funny, but...
you see, what's worse than all that is that when every motherfucker's goth. All right? Now every motherfucker in every trailer park is goth. And all movies are goth. And now it's all cheapened and fucking corporate. And that was around for a while. Okay? So we had to keep changing the way we looked.
That's why I didn't like the 90s.
Yeah, we had to keep changing the way we looked because y'all was catching up with us. All right, and then they tried to make that shit corporate. All right, and we were trying to be different. We weren't trying to be accepted.
Which was hilarious because, like I said, 1990.
Yeah.
Or no, 1989, 1990. I'm walking through the mall, dressed like I usually dress. And some dude shouts out to me, Lydia.
Yeah.
Which was from Beetlejuice.
Everybody's trying to be accepted.
Which came out in 88.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, bitch, I've been dressing like a long time before Beetlejuice came out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, I don't know. So we got kind of like offended.
Yeah.
Offended. But, look, I love Beetlejuice. I love that.
That's kind of like my boy. I don't want to offend anybody. Everybody's talking about homophobia and this and that, and fucking, I'm just fucking kind of makes me think of fucking what me and Jen went through. Fucking, we went through it separately, but we weren't trying to be accepted. We didn't want acceptance from fucking mundanes. Fuck y'all. You know,
that's
you
the
guys
thing.
are
It's
shit.
Like
we didn't give a fuck about you people.
We
were doing our own thing.
Yeah,
and that was like Toby. My buddy Toby's a fucking leather daddy. All right, and when fucking gay fucking bondage and shit went mainstream, he was like, "What the fuck is this?" He liked it better when it was some underground, dark fucking scene. He's like, anybody can be gay now. Now they got these motherfucking gay people trying to get married like they're fucking straight. What is this? This is the fucking. Then now they want to be fucking June Cleaver and shit. You guys are fucking. You know, he was my. Toby's anti-mainstream gay.
He doesn't like more fun.
He's like, fuck you. You know, so he was like, he liked it when it was not acceptable because that differentiated him from the mainstream. That was where his identity was cut. He wasn't trying to be accepted by straight people.
Because he's like our age.
Fuck you talking about?
He's our age.
Why would you want straight people to accept what you want, what you are?
And our age, people that are Generation X.
We didn't give a fuck what other people.
We don't like.
We're not trying to fucking conform to you.
Right. We don't like conforming of any kind.
We don't want some old fucking lady fucking telling, oh, I love you. Get the fuck out of here. All right? This is something y'all young people have come up with. You know, you're trying to get along. You know what I mean? It's just laughable to us. You know what I mean? We were actually rebellious. We were fuck you. We didn't want you accepting us. If you accepted us, that made us uncool. Because y'all fucking sucked.
Yeah.
If you said we were cool, then we suck. Then that was the mentality. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. So, it's like kind of like, I'm not saying that it's like it's better nowadays. Like just
we're not getting shit thrown at us.
But
we're not getting shit thrown at us.
In the 80s, it was much cooler. Like if you were goth or you were gay or whatever, it's like you didn't want the mainstream to approve of you.
If they did that,
that was lame.
That was the kiss of death.
That was lame.
To have them approve of you. I don't know.
You wanted them to shit on you.
Yeah, because then you could fight back. You could fight back. Y'all are fucking stupid motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
So I get it.
Because our scene was a lot closer to the punk rock scene. We were a counterculture. We weren't the culture. We were the counterculture.
Yeah, we didn't want any part of it.
We didn't want nothing to do with the fucking
because
culture.
the mainstream culture at that time, like I said, very lame. So they were not accepting of goths. They were not accepting of gay rights.
Yeah.
They were not accepting of any of that.
Their job, their purpose in life, the mainstream's purpose in life was to work, do jobs, do shit that we wouldn't do, like trucking and drilling and soldiering, and do shit that we wouldn't do. That was their job, and to have children. That's their job. We didn't do that. They did that. It's like they were working for us.
Nice.
And y'all got pussified over times. Okay? Y'all are trying to be accepted by people that will never be.
Well, look, I'm just saying.
Those people would have never been like me and Jen. Never. That's not the way they were.
Anybody
All right.
back then or nowadays that espouses any kind of crap
Yeah.
that is like not accepting of gay people, goth people, anything like that, I don't want to fucking hear it. You're like a fucking old person. I'm old. That's old person shit. I'm not about it.
I never
Not
really
about
saw
it.
the gay thing as a thing. You were either
Well,
cool,
that's the thing.
you were
Like,
either cool or you weren't cool. I didn't
that's
give a
what I'm
fuck what you
saying.
did.
But it has to be a thing because, you know, they have to fucking fight for the same rights that everybody else has. So the fact that we didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah, I didn't really think it was a thing.
We didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But apparently other people did.
Yeah.
So you still kind of have to like stand up for that shit because honestly,
Well, there are some straight people that aren't fucking cool, and there are some gay people that aren't cool. So
There's
that
a
wasn't
lot-
that wasn't
there's
the
a lot of straight people.
Yeah, so that wasn't the deciding factor. I didn't care if you were straight or gay. I just cared for whether or not you were cool or not. Fucking
Yeah,
because-
just don't be a douche.
Yeah, because you know, I mean, I really think
It seems like it's not that hard,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
apparently it is that hard
Right.
because there are a lot of people
really
that
didn't
are
care.
having problems with it nowadays. A lot of people having problems with not being a douche.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that's hard for you.
Okay, you.
I don't find it hard.
Let's shut it down. I'm hungry. You talking to all these people? We're gonna come back. When's the next show?
Sunday.
Oh yeah, okay, Sunday. Sunday
Talk-
we're gonna do another show.
Talking about a movie.
We're talking about movie, and then Monday we're gonna do
The
fucking
birthday show and a haunting.
a haunting on a birthday.
It'll be a haunting.
It'll be a haunting
show.
birthday. We'll do
Because
that.
Monday's my actual birthday.
Okay, so we're gonna be back Sunday. I'm gonna feed this woman. All right, and that's what I said. And then I'm gonna feed myself. We're gonna have some of that chicken salad. How's
Are
that
we?
sound?
Okay.
Does that sound good? Or I can cook something else, but chicken
No,
salad's
yeah,
ready.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we'll do that.
No Shoes asked, what do we think of Sigur Rós?
Who?
The band Sigur Rós.
Ziggurat. I've never heard of.
Sigur
I don't know
Rós, the Icelandic.
Never heard of them.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard them.
I never heard of them. It's a black metal band.
Not really. Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
Have a great evening, guys. Enjoy your meal. Happy birthday, Jenny. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night, all. See everyone on Sunday.
Yeah.
We don't know what movie we're going to be talking about, but...
Yeah, Victor says there's a lot of gay people that are douchebags. Yeah, it doesn't really
Well,
matter.
there's a lot of people
There's a
that
lot
are
of- yeah, it doesn't
douchebags.
matter.
It doesn't matter if you're gay,
Doesn't fucking
straight,
matter.
whatever the fuck.
I
There's a
judge-
lot of people that
You
are
got to judge a
douchebags.
motherfucker for who they are. All right,
I'm a very,
I'm an
like...
equal opportunity hater.
Well, yeah, I'm a very,
I'm an equal opportunity
I'm going to
hater.
meet you.
Okay, right, yeah.
Are you a douche?
Right, exactly. Yeah, you're not going to get
Guess
a free
no.
pass. You're not going to
Yeah.
get a free pass. You're either cool or you're not. But I'm open-minded. You know what I mean? Fucking, some dudes got game. Some people got game. Other people don't. It's just, each person is an individual situation. You're individuals, not groups.
That's what I mean. You
Yeah.
got to, like, approach everything as though it's an individual situation.
Tammy's saying to shut this shit down, Jenny. Shut this shit. We gotta shut it down, man. Hugo's saying it's a great show. We got loaded on Moonshine. Here, you're gonna split some of this Moonshine
We
with
didn't
me.
even, like, bust open the rum.
No, we got that in the next show. Next
Okay.
show. Next show. And here, I'll give you some of that, and then I'll go down there and cook. And then we'll watch some movies or something before we fall asleep. And I already
says
hit
no
that. I
more
already
for-
hit that shit earlier, so I'll fucking tonight. You're off a hook.
Am I?
You're off a hook tonight. Yeah.
All right, so I can
ain't
just,
gonna
like,
hit.
lay down and
yeah,
relax.
you can rest.
He's telling me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna come back on you Probably tomorrow or the next day.
Well, thank you for warning me. Thank you for warning me.
Because that shit.
Okay.
We'll schedule that shit.
Because man, we had a whole situation.
All right.
It's all right.
Okay, we're gonna shut this shit down.
Okay.
Go ahead. See,
All right.
she sees the game she plays.
I'm not playing a game.
Yeah,
I just thought that was funny that you said that. All right. So Sunday, we'll be talking about some movie. I don't know which one. Monday is my birthday, but we're gonna be talking about a haunting episode on that. So, thank you everybody for hanging out with us this Friday evening. Thank you for all your super chats. Very much appreciated. We will see you again on Sunday. And good night, you guys. Have a good weekend. Good night.